Well, well, well. So again, we are about 29 days out from seeing the Dallas Cowboys again, unless something pop up in the news. And I'll be honest with you, as much as I like content, I don't want anything popping up in the news. I want the Dallas Cowboys to continue to have this boring, quiet offseason so that they can focus on nothing but football. But nevertheless, we are going to continue listening to Brian Schottenheimer's introductory press conference, and we have some other news that is starting to come out, and some of it is stuff that people are kind of reaching on, but nevertheless, we have a little bit of news coming out about the Dallas Cowboys. But nevertheless, wherever there's news, you can depend on me. You know I'm going to go get it. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Let's go. Y'all know what time it is. Just because the Cowboys are resting, that don't mean we resting. We never rest as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys. It is time to talk Dallas Cowboys. Let's go. Let's get it. Welcome, 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 Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We have a lot of great content coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. This is what our show is going to be about today. Part 2 of the Brian Schottenheimer introductory press conference. And if you didn't catch it, when we listened to the first part, a lot of the things that Brian Schottenheimer talked about in the first part of that press conference, the Dallas Cowboys have implemented those things, and those things are in action. Then, we have an article coming over from Sports Illustrated. They're trying to basically predict the Dallas Cowboys 53-man roster. We're going to look at it, and we're going to see if we agree. Then, there's another crazy article out here about trades the Cowboys could do in July. I haven't even read the article. We're going to react to it together. And I just wonder if George Pickens is a part of one of them trade offers. Stop it with the nonsense. Then, there's an article up over on DallasCowboys.com called Who is Christian Parker? So we're going to read that article and see what it's all about. Then, we have an article written by a guy by the name of Solak that he's talking about questions that the Dallas Cowboys have to answer in 2026. And so we're going to look at that. And then, here we go again. Maxx Crosby is in the news. Maxx Crosby is throwing out once again subliminal shots. Is there a Maxx Crosby trade coming up? And will the Dallas Cowboys be involved in trying to get that trade? Because if I'm not mistaken, I'm hearing the Philadelphia Eagles, they are burning to get one Maxx Crosby. Man, we're going to talk about all that and more next on Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Hey, 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 let's go. It is a beautiful, hot Monday over here in the Metroplex. Man, we hitting them triple digits. Man, I was complaining about that Seattle weather. Man, this is Texas weather now. We got triple digits in this thing, man. It's hot over here, man. It's pool weather. It's pool weather. It's time to get in that pool. Man, let's get a roll call, and then we're going to get this show started. Man, I'm excited. Ice Cold Cowboys. What's going on with your ice cold? Hey, man, ice cold. Man, ice cold. That sounds real good right about now. It's hot, ice cold. We need it to be ice. Hey, we need some ice cold drinks. What up, Runny Dub? Big Moss Dog, my man, what up? It is none other than Dak Stress Scott. No stress, Dak Stress Scott. What's going on, Kirk Womack? John Henry. King Gresh. What's going on? Dak Stress Scott said, welcome to Let's Talk Cowboys, and we talk facts. Come in, hit the like button, and let your opinion be heard. Also, keep the chat clean. Appreciate you, Dak Stress Scott. Ron Mac, what up, Ron Mac? Keith George, what is going on? What is going on? 72 Chevelle just pulled up. Skirt. What's going on? Demetrius Noel, what is going on? Marvin Mays, good to see you. Gregory Hicks. Blaine in this thing. What up, Blaine? Freddie Morales, El Truco in the house. What up, Freddie Morales? The Queen. What is going on, Queen? Good to see you. Frank Lawrence. My man Frank Lawrence is in the building. What up, Frank Lawrence? Gregory Davis. Frank Lawrence said things are shaping up pretty good about the Cowboys. He said he's excited about the remainder of the offseason opening day. Yeah, that's when the rubber gonna meet the road. Gwen Bowden, what's going on? It's the real estate vet. Real estate, how hot is it out there, man? We hitting 3 digits over here at the DMV. What up, Mr. Get Dirty? The football gospel. Let's go. Fighting on Hall. What's going on? Fred Walker said, keep it clean. What up, Fred Walker? Fred Walker, I'm gonna have me a hat when the season starts, man. I'm going over here to my local boot store. I'm gonna get me one of them nice hats you got on. What's going on, Ken Charles, please? What's going on? He said Dak's gonna win 6 Super Bowl rings. Hey, you know what? I know he gonna get him 1 for sure. Mike T, what's going on, Mike T? Good to see you. Chef Pope, what's going on? Look like we got somebody from Asia in the building. What is going on with you? Good to see you. Poopy D in this thing got my back. What up, Poopy D? Duck Face, Quack Quack, what's going on? Carl Williams, what is going on? Good to see you. It's the Real Vibe. What's up, Real Vibe? Good to see you. Football Fanatic is back in the building. What's up, Football Fanatic? Davion Wallace, what is going on? JCT, he said, Speak Easy's obsessed with the Cowboys and Dak. He said, why they ain't talking about Hurts no more? We still have 4. What up with you? Let's go. Man, hey, King Gresh said out here in Jersey, we hitting 3 digits all weekend. Man, it's hot over here, man. It's hot. I might get in the pool after I get off here tonight, man. What's going on, Remedy? What's going on all the way from Connecticut? Real Estate 96. Boy, we'd love to have 96 over here right now. What up, Blaine? We worldwide, yes, sir. Rose in the building. What up, Rose? Dolores Ennis, what's going on? All right, man, let's get this show going. What's going on, Gang War Hustler, Big Down? Let's go, man. Let's go, let's go. Appreciate y'all rocking with me today on this hot day. Man, it's hot over here in DMV, man. Man, it's so hot over here. I think I saw the devil in the pool today, man. It's hot over here, man. I'm telling y'all it's hot. It is hot, man. The devil is in the pool. It's so hot. What's going on? The real Jane yelling. What is going on? All right. Let's get this first topic going for the day. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Best chat on YouTube. Y'all know nobody else holds that title. Nobody else holds that title on the internet. Nobody else calls their chat the best chat on YouTube. Nobody has their chat participating and their host participating with the chat like Let's Talk Cowboys. The best chat on YouTube. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. All right. So let's get rocking and rolling over here. We're going to go over here to this press conference, man. I don't know about y'all. But when we listen to that press conference last week, it was so eye-opening for me. It was so eye-opening for me. It absolutely was. Because so many people, they're focused on, focused on all the hypotheticals and focused on these things and those, but I'm not focused on that. I'm wanting us to really hone in on this Dallas Cowboy team. Because if what we are watching is taking effect, the stuff on the field is going to take care of itself. I'm more concerned about what they're doing off the field. I'm more concerned about the coaches. I'm more concerned if these players are buying into the system. Because if they are buying into the system, what's going to happen on the field is going to be automatic. This team is starting to sound like a smarter team. They're buying into the culture. They have each other's back. And so if we can get that to go into effect, I'm telling you, we are in for an incredible season. And everything on the field will take care of itself. We won't have to worry about those things. And I think one of the things that we had been missing for so long was we would look pretty good in camp, look pretty good in practice. I mean, we would even win games. But the problem is our mentality failed us. We didn't have the right mentality to win the big games. We didn't have the mentality to win the big games. And so what they are working on is getting the mentality to win the big games, to rise to the occasion, to not shrink in the moments. See, we think it's been about Dak Prescott shrinking in the moments. It has not been about Dak Prescott actually shrinking in the moments. Some of this has been the entire squad shrinking in the big moments. It's been the entire squad. It's been the coaching staff. The game plans have came up small. I will never comprehend. I will never comprehend the season that Dak Prescott played the best playoff game. It's got to be one of the top 5 playoff games I've ever seen a quarterback play. Dak Prescott retired Tom Brady. That Dallas Cowboy team retired Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. Dak Prescott played the best game I'd ever seen in my life. And then to come out flat in the next game against the San Francisco 49ers. And I guess it took the Cowboys a little time to get the wheels up under them. But as they were getting the wheels up under them, if I'm not mistaken, is that not the year that Tony Pollard broke his leg on a drop hip tackle that changed the entire trajectory of the game? I believe the Cowboys were winning that game had Tony Pollard not got hurt. But for whatever reason, the Cowboys' mentality has not always been what it's supposed to be. And what Brian Schottenheimer has been working diligently on, and we can tell from the press conference, Schotty has been diligently, y'all. He has been diligently working on the mental makeup. See, everybody's focused in on the whatever they're going to do. Oh, got to see it on the field. Let me tell you, the field isn't the Cowboys' biggest problem. We think it's been the Cowboys' biggest problem. It has not been the Cowboys' biggest problem. It's what's upstairs in the Cowboys. That's what's been the biggest problem. That's what's been having us to lead in penalties. That's what's been having players not make certain plays when they need to make certain plays. That's what's been having this team seem to not be motivated in some of the biggest games that we've seen over the last few years. It's the mental makeup of this team. And so what Schotty has been diligently working on, And people are not giving Schotty enough credit. Schotty has been diligently working on the mental makeup of this team. And last year, they got rid of some of the players that didn't have the mental makeup. See, Schotty already told us, and I don't think some of us are comprehending some of these things. They're not as concerned about certain things going on the field as they are concerned about what's going on in these players' brains. And that's what they're focusing on. And so they know that if they can get these guys to think right, so as a man thinketh, as the Bible teaches, so as a man thinketh, so is he. It's got to start up here before you put it on the field. And that's why I'm loving everything that I'm seeing from this team. It's the mental stuff that they're doing that I'm so impressed with. It's the mental stuff. Gregory Davis said the Cowboys lack mental toughness in big games, especially in the playoffs. It starts with the coaching staff. Boom! Boom, shakalaka, Gregory Davis.
You can't handle the truth.
Boom, shakalaka. I got to get that sound effect. That's the issue. You are who you think you are. It's the mental makeup that Schotty has been fighting so hard for. And I think a lot of people are overlooking this fact. It's the mental makeup of this team, including Jerry Jones all the way down. Frank Lawrence said in 2008, Tony Romo and several Dallas Cowboy teammates, I remember, Jason Witten and Bobby Carpenter took a controversial vacation to Cabo San Lucas during the first round playoff bye week. Yep. Frank Lawrence, that never seems to have good results. Do you remember also when the New York Giants, when Odell Beckham Jr. and those guys did something similar before their first playoff game and got mollywopped by the Green Bay Packers? Got mollywopped. Mollywop. Your mental makeup is important because in actuality, your mental makeup is who you are, not your physical self. Your physical self don't drive your mental. Your mental drives your physical self. Fred Walker said the penalty that I hate the most when a defensive lineman lines up offside. I mean, Fred, we were having some dumb stuff, man. We were having dumb stuff. How do you line up offside? Not only that, man, we had offensive players lining up offside. How do you line up offside on the offense? It's the mental makeup they've been working on so hard. Rose, what's going on? My man Bass, he said, how's everybody doing? Larry Hunter said players and coaches have to be synchronized. Larry Hunter, and watch this part. Not just coaches and players. I've already played it for you before. Christian Parker made the statement of the offseason. Jerry Jones has a plan of how he wants this organization aligned from the ownership down. That part. I find it to be strange I'm the only one talking about that, but that part. Christian Parker made a statement for the ages, and it's going to pay dividends. Frank Lawrence said, what would Tom Landry and Jimmy say about players' non-preparation for a playoff game? Yep. And now we got Schotty, and he stepped into this role, and he's taking some pages from these old school Cowboys. These old school Cowboys coaches, not to mention his father, Marty. Poopy D said, man, we get penalties that no other team heard of. Poopy D, boy, you not lying, man. We be having penalties in some of the dumbest moments that you be, man, everybody be scratching their heads on these penalties, man. All right, so let's get back into this press conference. The second part of this press conference, I want y'all to be listening for this. Not only was Brian Schottenheimer implementing, or they have implemented what Schotty was saying in this, but Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones have quietly been fulfilling what they also said they were going to do in this press conference. And I don't think people are giving them enough credit for this. Let's listen to the things that they're going to say in this press conference too.
Come in here with this kind of energy, this kind of, I'm going to show them. That's rare to combine those two things. Yeah, there'll be change.
Listen to the energy that Jerry Jones said that Schotty has brought into the organization. This is what Jerry said about Schotty.
He has been a good coach. But that time, those days, to reflect with him and go through many things that we should and wanted to talk about, that caused us to arrive at that. But what we have is an opportunity to take some of the very best things that are here in place, Mike's doing, some of those very best things, change some of that, add to it, and be better for that.
What up, Eric Folks?
Very much aware. I've heard Schotty referred to as maybe old school with his offensive philosophy. Well, I'll tell you one thing. As these philosophies or as these
What up, Blakey?
offensive philosophies evolve, okay? Schotty has a good feel for not only the offensive philosophies where they are today, but where they're going to go, and certainly where it has been. That's rare to come in here with this kind of energy, this kind of, I'm going to show them. That's rare to combine those two things.
Yes.
Yeah, there'll be change, but we'll use in place some of the many things that we have here now.
Yeah. Schotty got energy, man. Schotty. See, I told y'all this before. The other day we listened to this. Jerry knows from talking to Schotty. Jerry doesn't know, let's not pretend like he know the future and that he knows Schotty is about to bring 3 Super Bowls in a row or 3 Super Bowls like Jimmy. But what Jerry has gathered from Brian for 3 years, before he even hired him as the coach, it was his energy. It was the way he talked about football. And I'm sure they noticed that it's unlike anything we've heard in a long time around here in Dallas. And so Jerry is saying that y'all are actually selling us short. And I think everybody now are going to be eating a lot of the words they were eating when we first hired Brian Schottenheimer, because a lot of people are talking about how stupid of a hire it is. But they're going to start eating some of those words because Jerry knew some things about Schotty that people didn't understand. And now they're understanding them. Schotty got a different type of energy.
You said in the beginning that you weren't ready then.
What up, Silver? What up, Terrell? What up, Jeremy Betts?
As these philosophies or as these offensive philosophies evolve, okay? Schotty has a good feel for not only the offensive philosophies where they are today, but where they're going to go, and certainly where it has been. That's rare to come in here with this kind of energy.
What up, Cowboy Mike?
That's rare to combine those two things. Yeah, there'll be change, but we'll use in place some of the many things that we have here now.
Brian, Todd Archer with ESPN. You said in the beginning that you weren't ready then to take a head coaching job. Why are you ready now?
I think, over the past 19 years, when that first was afforded to me, when I was first-time coordinator with the New York Jets, and bright spotlight, there were things that made me pause. Now, spending the better part of the last 19 years learning, listening, doing, I've learned things, almost more things that I don't believe in than things that I believe in. Todd, I've always tried to be someone that moves around. I want to be around incredible coaches and players and try to learn from them. And so going to Seattle was, I would say, critical to my development as a coach. Pete Carroll challenged me in a number of ways. He challenged me to continue to be authentic, to continue to dive into the relationships that matter, which is your coaches, your players, ownership. He challenged me offensively, to be honest with you. He challenged me.
Wow, hold on a second. He said that Pete Carroll challenged him to dig into the relationships that matter. Would anybody disagree with this? Brian Schottenheimer, to me, seems like he has the best relationship with Jerry Jones since Jimmy Johnson. Would anybody agree or disagree with that? I never felt like Parcells, for example. I never felt like he had a good relationship with Jerry. Gailey, Garrett, McCarthy. I just never really felt like the coaches had a relationship, as in a relationship of just like ultimate mutual respect. Jerry, to me, he just really respected Jimmy Johnson. He really respected him. But the rest, it was just kind of like, okay, these are just kind of like guys like, okay, they're just here because I believe anybody can do the job, or I want to get a Super Bowl coach, get him to come in here and replicate what we've done before. But Schotty seems to be a genuine relationship. A genuine relationship. Dominique, I agree with you 50% of the way. Let me tell you where I agree with you. Parcells didn't put up with Jerry's foolishness. I agree with you. But let me show you, and I don't know if this is necessarily disagreeing with you. But also, Dominique, let me add to what you're saying. Let's make it better than that. Let me add to what you're saying. But Jerry Jones didn't put up with Bill Parcells' foolishness either, if that makes sense. I remember the Parcells years. And don't get me wrong, Parcells, Super Bowl winning coach. But Parcells also carried himself with a chip on his shoulder like, I'm the smartest guy in the room. I know more than everybody. And some of his ways of dealing with people, Parcells is really old school. Some of his ways, man, I'm sorry. But I can just remember him like yesterday, calling Terry Glenn she. Man, this ain't got nothing to do with modern day times. Man, I'm a man. And especially during that time, man, you didn't call no man she. Parcells didn't go about doing things in the best way. Parcells was an old dog, and you can't teach some old dogs new tricks. And Parcells was just blatantly like, hey, it's my way or no way. That's not what Brian Schottenheimer has done. Brian Schottenheimer has preached, lived, and earned respect with Jerry Jones. And so it's not about, in this relationship, it's not about Brian Schottenheimer actually putting up with Jerry Jones' mess. Because the thing that's so beautiful about the Jerry Jones and Brian Schottenheimer relationship, Schotty isn't having to put up with any mess. Because there's no mess to put up with. There's no mess. Because Brian Schottenheimer carries himself differently. Brian Schottenheimer, give him all the credit that he deserves. He's not one of these guys that's going to be out here in press conferences, acting reckless, throwing subliminal shots at the ownership in press conferences, complaining to the media about what Jerry isn't and what Jerry isn't doing and what Jerry isn't letting him do, or none of those things. Brian Schottenheimer is doing this the right way. People who want respect need to give respect. And people who want respect, they must always give respect in every single situation. I like Parcells, but I'm going to be honest with you. I never felt like Parcells was really going to get us there. I never really felt like that. I don't know what it was. I never really felt like that with Parcells. I really didn't. But with Schotty, I get the feeling he's going to get us one. And the reason why I believe he's going to get us one, for as much as people keep talking about on the field, Schotty isn't impressing me on the field as much as he's impressing me off the field. The culture, the brotherhood. And now we're going to see this year what I'm looking for in year 2. Will this all translate into a better disciplined team? Because they got the talent. I'm not concerned about the talent. But will it translate into a more disciplined team? A team that doesn't commit stupid bonehead penalties. Teams that don't get nervous in the big moments. Teams that don't make just foolish mistakes, not just on the field, but off the field. I want to see, is it going to translate into the focus on this team? A defense that actually gets the defense before Thanksgiving. I mean, can they get it before Thanksgiving this year? And I'm saying all of this to say that I agree with you on Bill Parcells didn't take Jerry Jones' mess. But his problem was Bill Parcells came with a lot of mess too. Bill Parcells came with a lot of mess because Bill Parcells was that old school coach that says, it's my way or the highway. This is how we going to do it. And as a matter of fact, I can say whatever I want to say and can't nobody stop me. He had hit that age in his career. And I don't know if y'all remember when Dak Prescott was talking about Brian Schottenheimer. One of the things that Dak Prescott said he loved about Brian Schottenheimer, that he didn't bring the chip on his shoulder of, I've already won a Super Bowl. Guys who have won Super Bowls and guys who want to win Super Bowls, those are two different animals. It's rare that you get the kind of animal that Jimmy Johnson was, the kind of animal that Bill Belichick was, the kind of animal that Andy Reid is. It's rare when you get those kind of animals who say, I've won Super Bowls and I want to keep winning Super Bowls. Those are rare. Those are unicorns. But some guys get this attitude of, I've won Super Bowls and there's only one way to win a Super Bowl, my way. Well, when you own your team, you can do it your way. But even Jimmy Johnson discovered that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. That when he went to Miami, he could not replicate what he did in Dallas. There were many factors. Salary cap in effect, check. Oh, by the way, a Jerry Jones who is desperate to win and allows you to make so many different kinds of moves and decisions for the team is not your owner anymore. Check. Jimmy couldn't replicate what he did in Dallas. Jimmy couldn't do what he did in Dallas. He couldn't replicate it. Because Jimmy went into Miami saying, hey, man, I won 3 Super Bowls, bruh. Yeah, that third one was mine, too. So when I come to Miami, I want to do it my way. Well, everybody ain't letting you do it your way. Schotty is doing it his way, but he's doing it very smart. One of the best things he's done is he has given Jerry Jones the ultimate respect. And it is translated and matriculated down throughout his coaching staff. Because Christian Parker, who just met Jerry Jones, he said, this is Jerry's plan. Y'all, did y'all hear what I said? Christian Parker said, this is Jerry Jones' plan. Yeah. That's called what Schotty just said. Investing in the relationships with the people that matter. If you don't think the owner matters, you'll never win with that owner. Yeah, you'll never win. You'll never get what you want. You'll always be complaining about, oh, he didn't do what I wanted to do, and he didn't get me this player and that player. You'll always be complaining about that. Schotty is genius. He's absolute genius. Jeremy Betts. And I appreciate he said that Pete Carroll challenged him on that. Jeremy Betts said, agree 100%. He said he snuck in psychologically. Schotty's earned Jerry's trust in time he used Mike McCarthy's strategy to his own advantage and turned what he did wrong as a lesson and used his football mind and Jerry on it. Yeah. And Jerry, Jerry, yeah, I got what you're saying there. Yeah. Schotty is smart. See, so many people want respect, but they don't give it. And one thing I'm telling y'all, if you didn't know Bill Parcells wanted all the respect. That was Bill Parcells. And would be so disrespectful. I remember, who was it just mentioned here? I remember he didn't want Terrell Owens. He was calling Terrell Owens the player. Carlito Cash, yeah. He was calling T.O. the player. Who does that to a player that the ownership brings in? I'm just telling you. Schotty is doing it different. And he's doing it the smart way. And Poobie D, you said if you want me to cook the food, let me pick the groceries. Poobie D, watch this part though. You got to earn the right to buy the groceries. Yeah, you got to earn the right. That's the difference in Schotty and Parcells. Parcells wanted Jerry to say, hey, you've won Super Bowls. You get to buy the groceries. And Jerry was like, nah, bruh. No, I'm not letting you do it like that. Schotty says, let me earn your respect. Schotty said, I'll sweep the floor. I'll wash the dishes. See, people don't understand. See, Schotty didn't want to cook immediately. Schotty said, I'll wash the dishes. I'll take out the trash. I'll go get the trash cans after the trash man run. Schotty was saying, I'll do all the stuff that head coaches don't want to do so that I can do what I want to do and become the head coach. I tell my sons all the time, let me tell y'all something about this life if you don't know it already. In order to do what you want to do, you have to learn how to do things that you don't want to do.
You can't handle the truth.
Yes. I don't know if you ever heard that before. But in order to do what you want to do, you have to be willing to do some things that you're not willing to do. And I know so many people, they come in every facet of life. They come into something talking about, I'm not doing that. I don't care. That's one thing I won't do. And then you look all crazy in the face when somebody come behind you and they start doing all them things that you said you wouldn't do. And then when you gone, you start saying stuff like, well, they didn't treat me like that. Yeah, because you didn't treat them like that. Yeah. That's the difference in Brian Schottenheimer. Schotty didn't walk in here with his chest all poked out like Mike McCarthy. I know how to win football games. I know how to win Super Bowls. I know this and I know that. That's not how Brian Schottenheimer walked in. And as Brian Schottenheimer is telling this story, what is so powerful to me, one of the greatest ways for a man or a woman to succeed is know yourself. Do y'all realize that Brian Schottenheimer is saying, I wasn't ready. I didn't know enough. I hadn't experienced enough. There's not a lot of people that'll say stuff like that. And some people, Mike McDaniel, they roll in, young coach, win Super Bowls. But Schotty is saying something. I don't think that was going to be me. I can respect that. Yeah, I can respect that. Everybody don't have to do it the same way. Everybody don't have to be a hotshot young coach. Everybody don't have to do all those things. When it's your time, it's your time. And I appreciate Brian Schottenheimer saying, it wasn't my time. Just wasn't my time. I love it.
With, hey, what do you think about this scheme? What do you think about that scheme? You know, and the McVay-Shanahan style was taking off, and in Seattle we were competing against.
What up, Stephen White?
Sean and Kyle, and so he was pressing me. So I just really feel like things changed for me when I went with Pete. Learned a ton from my dad and all the coaches, Mike and Steve Spurrier, all those guys. But Pete Carroll had a huge impact on me, and it probably sharpened my edge and sharpened my view on what I want this opportunity to look like. And that was a big change for me, and one that I'm excited about moving forward.
And then,
See, I want y'all to think about what Schotty is saying. Marty Schottenheimer was a great coach. But hey, let me tell you something about hey, Marty couldn't win the big game. Marty couldn't win the big game for whatever reason. And Marty had players, couldn't win the big game. But Schotty is saying something. He's benefited not only from his father. Follow what he's saying. He not only benefited from his father, but he benefited from the other places that he went also. And that poured into his experience. And it is pretty obvious that Pete Carroll poured a lot into Brian Schottenheimer's glass. Because when you see Schotty before the practices and all of that stuff, go back and look at tape of Pete Carroll with the Seattle Seahawks. Go back and look at the tape. And you will see the same thing. Pete Carroll, players coach. Pete Carroll did a lot of the same stuff. Great relationships, a lot of those things. Pete Carroll was that. But Schotty isn't just taking that. He's got his father. He's got Pete Carroll. He's got others. There's a lot that has been poured into Brian Schottenheimer that has made him into the man that he is right now. And so for me, I can respect that. I can absolutely respect that. Dominique, you ain't lying, boy. Parcells calling that man she was terrible, bro. Hey, he'd have to fight a lot of players over that. Backbreaker, I would have agreed with you 2 years ago. I don't agree with you now. Because this is exactly what Schotty is building. He's building mental intangibility. That's what he's building. He's building the atmosphere for it. The most be better, do better. He said, geez, Schotty approach to dealing with people in general reminds me of Tupac quote, every setback is a setup for a powerful comeback. Impressive. Yeah. Fred Walker, he said, I'm an expert on one thing in life, and that's me. Shoot, you know you can't lie to yourself. Let me tell you something, Fred. I preach this all the time in service. Can't nobody beat me being me. If I be you, I fail. But if I be me, I can succeed. You got to know yourself. You just got to know yourself. And I respect what he said. He knows himself. What up, Jabril Quinn? Yeah, Schotty been around for a minute. We forget. Yes, sir. Robert Dudley. Marty Schottenheimer may absolutely be the best coach to never win a Super Bowl. He may actually be the best coach. He may actually be the best coach to never win a Super Bowl, man. Because if I'm not mistaken, he's got the most wins of a coach that hasn't won a Super Bowl. Man. Larry Hunter, boy. Oh, it takes a mature person to give credit to another person for their growth. Yeah. Freddie Morales, I talked about it the other week. Yeah, when Schotty takes the ball to the Super Bowl, lifts that Lombardi, there won't be a dry eye in the room. Not one. Because I can tell you this, I'll be crying when he wins. When the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, either this year or next year, I'm going to just let everybody know up front. Y'all just get ready. I will be crying. I will be crying for this. I will be crying for Dak Prescott. I'll be crying for Brian Schottenheimer. I'll be crying for Dallas Cowboy fans. I'm just telling you now, it's going to be an emotional day for me. Backbreaker said, I can tell you this, most Cowboys fans don't care for what Brian does outside of being a Cowboys coach right now. Now, you know what? I would agree with you on that. But he's not building that type of organization. See, his players care about what he's doing, and that's the only thing that counts. Fan base and what they think in a lot of this stuff, it's not a huge issue in the grand scheme of things. But it's those guys in that building, and they yeah, they believe in him. Cowboys, and they care about what he does outside of being the coach. Cowboys Mike said, Bill Paul says limited Sean Payton offensive scheme. Yep, I would agree with you there. Very old school. Very old school. Yeah. But again, man, just keep listening to what he's saying. Yeah. Marvin Mays said, yeah, you and me both, man. I'm telling you now, I'm going to be crying. I'm going to let y'all know up front, man. I'm going to be crying.
For Stephen and Jerry, what do you guys need to do differently to support Brian and to end the 29-year drought that you guys have between going to a Super Bowl?
Well, I think we, you always have to evaluate, where it didn't go right last year. And obviously, we're also evaluating where it didn't go right, in terms of, this drought that people say we're in terms of a championship game or a Super Bowl. And, we just have to
Do y'all remember last year when people lost their mind when Stephen Jones gave those quotation marks? People lost their minds when Stephen Jones gave those quotation marks. And we were all, everybody had their different take on it. But, people were trying, some people were saying, oh, he's not accepting the drought. I don't think that's what the deal is. I just think he was using quotation marks because you use quotation marks around things that people say. I'll use them sometimes around what people say. It doesn't mean what they're saying is not necessarily true. But I remember more people lost their minds when Stephen Jones did this. It was like front page headlines.
continue to make this roster better. It'll certainly be something that Jerry, myself, Will and his staff, and now Coach Schotty and his staff, we'll sit down and take a look and see what we have to do better. I think we got a lot of great pieces. You ask why Schotty? I think Schotty's the perfect combination.
Now notice this part. Now, this is the part that nobody talked about. Stephen Jones came right behind when he said the drought. He then used quotation marks around Schotty is the perfect combination, and nobody said anything about that. You see how crazy this was? People were losing their minds because he used quotations, man. They were losing their minds.
Of keeping some continuity, but also affecting change. And we have to support that as well in terms of being behind him and doing the things he wants to do. I've walked in Schotty's shoes. I have a lot of deference in myself as well, working with Jerry. Schotty did the same with Mike. Would he do things different? Is he going to do things different than Mike? Absolutely. I'm convinced of that. And, I think we got a great plan on defense. I think we got a great plan on special teams. We're putting that all together. That has to come together as a staff, and certainly Schotty leads that. And as he said, some of his best characteristics are communications and working with people. And I see that. I've taken that in. I've gotten more respect through this process with him, and also talking to other men about the job. But certainly we'll do a real deep dive on putting some personnel together, whether it be through the draft, free agency. I know, typically that's not been the way we've done this team, but we'll certainly look at it and, put really good, not only players, but good football character people with some of the men we have in this room right now. And we have a lot of great players on this team. And certainly no one has excuses. We had a few challenges this year on the injury front, and that's why we think we do need to keep some continuity. Certainly every team, when they're looking for a coach out there, is looking, what's in the best interest of the quarterback. Certainly that played a role here. And, Dak's not making any coaching decisions, nor does he want to. But I can tell you every team who made a coaching decision was looking at how they solved for the quarterback. And, that's how you win in this league. I think we've got one of the best, if not the best, in terms of our quarterback. And he's the ultimate leader. And we just have to continue to put the pieces around. And, we're not naive. I know our fans, they're not going to believe, and there's going to be pressure until we get the job done. And certainly we didn't get the job done this year, and our ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl. I can tell you, I've never seen a man more driven than Jerry. This is huge to him to go get this championship. And I know Coach Schottenheimer believes the same thing, and I know our players sitting in the back want it. I mean, they want it. They're driven to get it, and we've got to get the right people to put around them. We'll have turnover in our roster like we do every year, and our goal is to put together the best roster in the NFL.
Yes! That part right there. That part right there. That was the heart of this entire press conference. You're listening to Stephen Jones in this part of the press conference. I can remember talking about this last year. And when Stephen Jones said his goal was to build the best roster in the NFL, he has yet to come out and say they did it. And when you look and listen to what he said, we're going to do some things differently than we've done in the past. They've done it. They've done it. They've been putting things around Rain Dakota Prescott. They did it. They did it, and they're doing it. Everything that they said they were going to do in this press conference, and this is why I want to play this back, they're doing it. They're absolutely doing it. I don't care what anyone tells me. This roster is better than it was last year. This roster is absolutely better. We didn't bring in a bunch of these third and fourth chance players. That's not what we did. The Dallas Cowboys, ever since Brian Schottenheimer has touched down, our last two drafts have been really good. This one in particular was crazy. But what Stephen Jones said they were going to do, they were going to go in free agency, and they were going to do it in the draft, and there was going to be some turnover, and they were going to do things differently. Well, let's go back and count the ways. Are the Cowboys doing what Stephen Jones said? They brought in George Pickens on a third-round pick, traded a third-round pick for George Pickens. How'd that work out? We're now arguing that George Pickens is arguably a top 5 wide receiver in the game. Ryan Flanoy, how'd that turn out? Ryan Flanoy, 6th-round draft pick, is now arguably one of the best third wide receivers in the game. Got Tyler Guyton. We still weren't seeing how that's going to turn out. Cooper Beebe, how'd that turn out? One of the best centers in the game. Nobody talks about him. That's how you know how great he is. Tyler Booker, one of the best right guards in the game already. Terrence Steele coming off an injury. We're going to see what he do. Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson was already here. We'll see how Jake Ferguson turns out, but most people think he's pretty good. Rain Dakota Prescott's been here. What did he do? He brought in Javonte Williams, who is now arguably one of the best running backs in the league and is one of the best deals on a running back that we've seen. Of course, we got Hunter Lipke. We know about that. Look at what the Cowboys did this year. We turned around and we got Drew Shelton, Brevin Spanford, Jaden Blue, and we're going to see who he does this year. We also have one of the best wide receiver cores, Cavonte Turpin, our 4th wide receiver. Hopefully he'll be better at the 4 and the gadget. We got Anthony Smith, Marquez Scanlon. We'll see how this turns out. But nevertheless, when you look at what the Cowboys have done, they brought in Michael Trigg, got Phil Maffa. When you look at what they've done, the offense was already pretty good. But look at what they did this year. course corrected on Matt Eberflus, did some things different, traded Michael Parsons, 2 first-round picks, got Kenny Clark, got Quinnen Williams, got Rashawn Gary, got D. Winters. Look at these, the draft, Donovan Ezeraku, Deron Bland. Look at the things the Cowboys have done. Jalen Thompson, Kobe Durant, Caleb Downs, Savone Revel Jr., P.J. Locke, Devin Moore, James Houston, Shamar James, Jayshawn Barham, Malachi Lawrence, Jonathan Bullard, L.T. Overton. Look at what the Cowboys have done. This isn't no thrown together, yeah, you know, we got these guys on the 3rd and 4th chance, and we're no. They're doing what Stephen Jones said. They're putting the pieces around Dak Prescott to get what they want. And they're not done. The Dallas Cowboys are not done. They're not done. Talent acquisition is 24/7, 365 days a year, and they're still acquiring talent. Everybody just needs to be patient. Everybody needs to be patient. They want to see what they have in Oxnard, California. And then once they see what they have and what they don't have, July 15th will roll. Well, July 15th will roll around. There'll be other people. There'll be other players available. As this gets closer to the season, or closer to the season, the Cowboys are going to add a couple of more pieces. You watch what I tell you. Everything Stephen Jones said they were going to do, they're doing it. They haven't done it. They're doing it.
And ask him about Schotty as a ball player, how he got there. He said, well, to start with, he threw the first touchdown pass in our national championship season. I got mad at my Heisman Trophy winner under center and sent him out there, and damned if he didn't throw the touchdown pass. But he told me a lot about Schotty. I called Pete Carroll to talk about Schotty.
Now, Larry Hunter, you know, you think about this. There's some people I see saying that they've heard this before. Now, Larry Hunter, Stephen said something, and it shows you that he understands. Stephen Jones said there will be a lot of people who are not going to believe what I'm saying. There it is. Yeah, there's a lot of people not going to believe what I'm saying. But he's not, he hasn't just been saying it. He's doing it. And that's what I'm impressed with. He's doing it. That squad that I just showed you, man, that's got to be one of the best squads that we've had in years. Name me a better squad on paper. Name me a better squad on paper. Alvin Harper and Michael Irvin were not the wide receiver duo that Lamb and Pickens is. Irvin, of course, was already a monster, but Alvin Harper in his first and second year really just kind of touching the surface of his talent. Now, we got peak CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, who is on the verge of peaking. I am telling us we got some things going on this team that we actually haven't had in decades, I dare say. In decades.
Why did y'all split up? Why'd you fire Schotty if you fired him? How'd that happen? So we got into that real good. Because Schotty has been effusive about the impact.
I just answered the question, Dominique, before I saw the question. I just answered.
Have shaped him along the way. But it's kind of interesting.
Backbreaker. I disagree with you wholeheartedly and respectively. With all due respect. Backbreaker. You would not have the best roster with Myles Garrett if you gave away the farm. That's counterintuitive. You would have had the best player, but you wouldn't have had the best roster. What were you giving away for Myles Garrett? Because I'm telling you, if you would have got Myles Garrett, I'm telling you what Cleveland was coming for. If you would have got Myles Garrett, Cleveland was coming for none other than Quinnen Williams. And if you give away Quentin Williams to get Myles Garrett, you just put yourself back in the same situation you were in with Michael Parsons. You just put yourself back in the same situation. And you've gone backwards, and you've put yourself back in a situation of we're all about players rather than a system. That's what they've done different. Garrett would not have made this the best roster. Myles Garrett hasn't even made the Rams into the best roster. And if it was, you got to tell me why they're begging Aaron Donald. Why are they begging Aaron Donald to come out of retirement if you got the best roster already with Myles Garrett? Not true. Not true. And Fred Walker, you make a great point. The culture is the greatest thing that they've done. That's what they've done different also, the culture. No coach that has been here has focused on this culture and the mentality of this team the way Brian Schottenheimer has, because he's realized something. That's what the Cowboys have been failing. It's their mental makeup. I don't care how physical you are. When you get punched in the face, physicality goes out the window. Everybody had a plan when they fought Mike Tyson until they got punched in the face. People don't realize, I can't remember the boxer, but there was a boxer who talked about the first time he fought Mike Tyson. And he said something that I thought was very powerful. He said the one thing that he refused to do when he walked into the ring with Mike Tyson, he said he refused to look him in the eyes. He said, and the reason why is that Mike Tyson defeats his opponents before they ever ring the bell. Because once they would look at Mike Tyson and they saw the look on his face, they shrank mentally. And a lot of people don't realize the reason why Mike Tyson was so good as a boxer was his mentality. Customato built a mentality in Mike Tyson. And when Customato was gone, Mike Tyson didn't lose his talent. He lost his mentality. That's what Mike Tyson lost. People do not understand. It's the mental makeup of you that determines what you're going to be in life. It's your mental makeup. Talent? Man, please, everybody got talent. Everybody got talent, man. Everybody. The issue is how do you use it? And what does the mind of the men who are using it look like? And for every time, Backbreaker, you or anybody else tell me anything about Myles Garrett, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Well, tell me why the Seattle Seahawks were able to win a Super Bowl without Myles Garrett. I'll wait on you. I'll wait on you. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I'm going to wait on you. I'm going to wait on you because I'm not going to make the Myles Garrett argument. I'm going to wait on you. Every time we start making this discussion about a player, I'm going to go back to a team that showed us that it's not about a player. It's about a team. It's about a system. I'll even take you back to the 2024 Philadelphia Eagles. Why were they so good? Yeah, they had great players, but they also had a great mental makeup. They had a great mental makeup. They had a great system. Every single time. Every single time. We're just we just don't understand. We 1 minute we say we want to do things different, but then we start talking the same way. Yeah, players. The Cowboys have had players. They've had years when they've had players, and it still didn't work. It's been the mental makeup of this team that has been its biggest failure. And people don't give Jimmy Johnson enough credit because we immediately run to the Herschel Walker trade. But have you noticed? Every time you talk to Emmitt Smith, it was our mental makeup and the brotherhood. Michael Irvin, it was the mental makeup and the brotherhood. Every time you talk to a player, they don't go to their super team. They say it was the mental makeup of the team and what Jimmy did. Okay, if you don't see that's what Brian Schottenheimer is doing different, I can't make you see it. I can't make you see it. I don't know what else to tell you.
And his staff, they go to the next door neighbors of these players that we're drafting or look at drafting and get that next door neighbor to talk about them at that time. Boy, you need to do that when you're dealing with a head coach. Now, I didn't have to go to the next door neighbor with Jimmy. I didn't have to go to the next door neighbor with Barry. But, man, I've been to this guy's next door neighbor personally. And I like our shot with Schotty.
John Machota with The Athletic. For Stephen, we know.
Yeah, that's what I keep saying, old school. You are what you think. The Bible tells us a man, so is a man thinking, so is he. Your mental makeup determines everything about you, and people don't understand that. Freddie Morales said, answer me this question. If Myles Garrett is all that in a bag of chips, why didn't the Browns win a Super Bowl with him on the team? Yeah, Freddie Morales, because if he's going to make the Dallas Cowboys have the best roster in the league, well, he basically should have carried the Cleveland Browns to a Super Bowl on his back. Yeah. Should have carried him on his back. No, it's not about one player. It's not about one player, period, end of story.
That you met multiple times with Brian, several hours. Can you just kind of go behind the scenes and share some of the stuff that was talked about during that, and at what point you guys kind of felt comfortable making him the next head coach?
As I said, and certainly I probably more than anybody have respect, for what Schotty's role was. I mean, Mike was our play caller. He was our head coach, and then he was our play caller.
What up, Rico Jones?
Schotty was there to support him as the offensive
Country field.
coordinator. But I think some of the most important things for us, after you get to know the man better and you see the energy, you see the way he can communicate with Jerry, with myself, with the room, certainly that jumped out at you. But the bigger thing, as I mentioned, we certainly want continuity, but we also want change. And, just felt like, we need something that's going to freshen it up. Mike did one hell of a job here. He's the winningest coach, I think, in the history of the franchise. Had an unprecedented, 3-year run, winning 12 games. So, Mike did a lot of great things here. But at the same time, we just felt like, Jerry felt like, I was supportive of it, that we did need change. And we wanted to hear how that was going to happen. And, it's not just the X's and O's. We obviously went extensively through the X's and O's, but we also, you get into the schedules, you get into how you get your players motivated, how you take care of your players. All those things are, part of being a head coach, and it's a lot. And that's why, a lot of people sometimes scratch their head, why would you go with a first-time head coach? That's been the way of the league these days. Most are going with these young offensive wizards that hadn't been head coaches. But I think we got a better version of that because of Schotty's experience. I mean, everybody's mentioned it, 25 years of NFL coaching and a whole lifetime of being around it. He played the game, at a high level of competition in college. Certainly that made an impression on him. But it was real important, and the more we met, the more we wanted to meet. And I think that was helping us come to a conclusion on what that decision should be in terms of, Coach Schottenheimer being our next head coach.
And then for Brian, real quick.
Yeah. And let me answer one more question, Backbreaker. Appreciate the dialogue. I'll let you do the rest of this in the chat. But Backbreaker, you don't realize you're actually answering your own question. You said, tell me, was the Browns defense ever bottom of the league with him leading that defense? So, Backbreaker, let me let you answer your own question. So, at any time when Myles Garrett was leading that defense and getting 23 sacks last season, Backbreaker, I'm not as concerned about the defense. Can you riddle me this? Can you ever name me a time when Myles Garrett was with the Cleveland Browns that they had the best roster in the NFL? I'll wait on that answer. You do realize why the Cleveland Browns traded Myles Garrett. The same reason why the Dallas Cowboys traded Micah Parsons. The Cleveland Browns realized something, backbreaker, that they may have the best edge rushing defensive end in the league and arguably maybe in NFL history before it's all said and done. He may get 20, he might have got 30 sacks the next season with the Cleveland Browns. But you know one thing that they knew they were not going to do, backbreaker? That even if Myles Garrett got 35 sacks, they were not winning the Super Bowl. Because as long as Myles Garrett was there, it was highly unlikely they were ever going to have the best roster in the NFL. You're answering your own question. The Dallas Cowboys traded Micah Parsons because things went south with him and David Mulugeta. But the other part of this is, I keep saying people are discounting that man in the middle. I don't think he wanted him. I don't think he fit the culture. But number 3, do y'all know how long it would have took for us to get defensive tackles of the caliber of Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams on this team with Micah Parsons still here? Because somebody's got to tell me, how are we going to do it? How are we going to get defensive tackles the caliber of Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark? How are we going to do it? How are we going to get those draft picks to bring in Caleb Downs? How are we going to get those draft picks to be able to do things with Malachi Lawrence, LT Overton? How are we going to be able to do that with Micah Parsons? Because the goal isn't having the best player. The goal is having the best team. And that's why Myles Garrett went to the Rams, because the Rams feel like they're in a position to where Myles Garrett can help us get the best team. Because they actually went out and made some other moves that they also feel like Myles Garrett with these moves will help us be the best team. But I don't think they're the best team the way people think they are, because we still got to see what that offensive line is going to be. The Dallas Cowboys, we got to see what they're going to be on the field. But I still contend, for as good as Myles Garrett is, and I wouldn't have been mad had they got him, that wouldn't have made Dallas Cowboys have the best roster in the NFL. Why? Because you got Myles Garrett? No. That wouldn't have guaranteed that you had the best roster in the NFL. So again, yeah, you asking about their defense, but we're not worried about their defense. At what time when Myles Garrett was with the Cleveland Browns did they ever have the best roster? And Myles Garrett on the Cowboys wouldn't have gave them the best roster, because I'm telling you what they would have had to give up. It would have deteriorated from the Dallas Cowboys' options of what they're going to do this season and next. There isn't a player or group of players on this team and draft picks I would want the Cowboys to give away to go get one player like Myles Garrett. No, I don't want to go get a player like Myles Garrett and in the process giving up possibly a George Pickens or giving up a Quentin Williams, because I'm telling you, I know that that's what the Cleveland Browns wanted, because the Cleveland Browns were begging the Philadelphia Eagles, for their defensive tackle. And the Philadelphia Eagles said, heck no. They said, heck no. They were not giving up their defensive tackle to get Myles Garrett. We got to understand there's a difference in having the best player and the best roster. And that's why I keep saying, every time we keep saying that we want to do something different, we start talking the same way. As if one player was going to make the Cowboys the best roster on the NFL. In the NFL, it wasn't. He wasn't, and he still, I don't believe he makes the Rams the best roster in the NFL yet. I don't. It's amazing to me that people say, yeah, man. It's amazing to me when people start talking about these things. Yeah, we got to see the Cowboys. We got to see it on the field. Why is it not with the Rams? Oh, not with the Rams. Oh, not with the Rams. Because with the Rams, already on paper, hadn't seen them play a down. Oh, they're winning the Super Bowl this year. The Rams are the best team in the NFL because they got Myles Garrett. We hadn't even seen it on the field yet. Oh, it's amazing to me, though. With the Cowboys, though, We got to see it on the field. It's amazing to me how we have a double standard. Double standard. King Gresh, he said, no, Myles Garrett is not the player that proves that you are in win now mode. That's not true. Those are the lies we want to believe. Because King Gresh, so let's take the Cowboys out of this equation. So now can you explain to me, King Gresh, that if Myles Garrett equals win now mode, hold on a second. It's the Cowboys off season. We got time right now, don't we? Let's go back, because I'm going to show you how we say things, and I don't believe some of the things we say all the time are our thoughts. I believe some of the things that we're saying are other people's thoughts, and we're not admitting it. So, okay, King Gresh, I'm going to call you on this. And I'm going to respect, with all due respect, I'm going to call you on this. Okay. Because I always laugh. We always boil these arguments down. It always makes me laugh. We boil all these arguments down to the Dallas Cowboys. Every one of these arguments, we boil them down to the Dallas Cowboys. We're always saying, yeah, the Dallas Cowboys, they're not in win now mode. Really? The Dallas Cowboys are not in win now mode. Okay. So, King Gresh, let me ask you a question real quick. Anybody else who want to jump in? Let me ask y'all a question real quick. New England Patriots, they're not in win now mode? See, we keep boiling this down to the Cowboys. So, are the New England Patriots in win now mode? They just went to the Super Bowl. They want to go back. So, with Myles Garrett, would he not have been a win now mode for the New England Patriots? Why didn't the New England Patriots give up the farm for him? Oh, I got another question for you, King Gresh and anybody else. The Buffalo Bills last year almost went to the Super Bowl. Or the year before last. I'm sorry, year before last. Buffalo Bills almost went to the Super Bowl. So you're telling me the Buffalo Bills with an aging quarterback in Josh Allen. Yeah, he getting up there too. He's not in his 30s, but he's approaching. So, King Gresh, you going to tell me the Buffalo Bills are not in win now mode? Why didn't they go and break the bank and go get him? Why didn't they go and give up a bunch of players to go get him? Are the Buffalo Bills not in win now mode? Hold on a second. Let's go down a few more teams. There's a team right here, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Are they not in win now mode? Why didn't the Jacksonville Jaguars, who was the number one team in the AFC South, why didn't they go get Myles Garrett? Surely if they went 13-4 last year, surely Myles Garrett would have pushed them over the top. Why didn't the Jacksonville Jaguars go get Myles Garrett? Again, why didn't the Denver Broncos? Why didn't they break the bank and go get Myles Garrett? Why didn't the Kansas City Chiefs, who are trying to get back into the Super Bowl? Are we saying that the Chiefs are not in win now mode because they didn't get Myles Garrett? Are we saying the Denver Broncos are not in win now mode because they didn't go get Myles Garrett? Hold on a second. The Philadelphia Eagles tried to go get Myles Garrett. But you know what they realized, King Gresh, about getting Myles Garrett? That if they gave up Jalen Carter to get Myles Garrett, they would no longer have the best roster in football. Do I need to keep going? What are we talking about? We boil every argument down to the Cowboys. No, I want to go to the NFL. Why didn't these other teams give up the farm to go get Myles Garrett? Because you answered your own question in the statement. Because why would you give up the farm to go get Myles Garrett and then you put yourself back in the same position you were with Michael Parsons? Now you are a player-driven defense rather than a system-driven defense with good and great players. Why didn't they do it? The Green Bay Packers did it last year with Michael Parsons. How'd that work out? So you're telling me the Detroit Lions are not in win now mode. Dan Campbell may absolutely be on the hot seat this season. He's not in win now mode. You telling me Dan Quinn is not in win now mode. Everybody's saying Dan Quinn is on the hot seat this season. You're telling me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not in win now mode. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? And if any team could have went, why didn't the Seattle Seahawks do it? Oh, I forgot. They went to the Super Bowl with DeMarcus Lawrence last year. Oh. And with DeMarcus Lawrence, arguably had one of the best rosters in football without Myles Garrett, but with DeMarcus Lawrence, who came from our team. Man, I will destroy every one of these arguments every single time. Why didn't the San Francisco 49ers? We know they need defensive players. Why didn't they give away the farm? Why didn't they do it? Why didn't they give away Mac Jones? Why did they give up a couple of their defensive players to bring in one Myles Garrett? Because if you have to subtract from your team to get a player of the ilk of Myles Garrett, you're not just in win now mode, you're in win right now mode. That if you don't do it this year, you might not do it. And this is what's probably going to happen, unfortunately for us, but unfortunately, this is probably what's going to happen with the Green Bay Packers. The defense that the Green Bay Packers had with Michael Parsons last year, that was the defense they wanted to go to the Super Bowl with. But when you look at the defense they now have with Michael Parsons, including his hurt self, and with the players that they lost, that Green Bay Packer defense will not look like it looked at the beginning of the season last year with Michael Parsons. Those are the facts. It's amazing to me. We get people in Cowboys Nation saying, oh, the Cowboys they're not in win now mode. What about everybody else? Why aren't these other teams in win now mode? The Chicago Bears, they wanted Myles Garrett. Why didn't they get him? Why didn't Chicago Bears get him? They were trying to get him. You know why they didn't get him? Because they were not giving up the farm to get Myles Garrett. Because once you give up key players to get Myles Garrett, you're no longer the best roster in the NFL. Bottom line, you are basically saying that this is the team that we're rolling with for the next 2 to 3 seasons, because once you give away your first round draft picks or whatever draft picks you were going to have to give up, and once you give away one of those established players or two, how do you replace them? How do you replace them? Why didn't everyone else do what the Rams did? So are we saying that the Rams are the only team in this league that are all in? I guess the Rams were not all in last year either, were they? Yeah, the Rams weren't all in last year. Yeah, they weren't trying. Yeah, they were not all in last year. This stuff is comical to me. It's comical. We boil one player. We literally boil all in on one player and we ignore all the other players. This is comical, man. This is comical. We gotta stop doing this stuff. That's the old way of thinking by the Dallas Cowboys. They're not thinking the way that they used to think. The Cowboys always thought they were one player away. Do y'all remember when we brought in Terrell Owens? Y'all do know why we brought in Terrell Owens, don't you? We brought in Terrell Owens because we thought we were one player away. It happens all the time. Oh, one player away. No, we're not a player away. What the Dallas Cowboys have been away, as in the Super Bowl, they've been a whole team away. A mentality away. A mental makeup away. That's what has kept the Dallas Cowboys out of Super Bowls over the last 30 years. That's what's kept them out. And I'll give Brian Schottenheimer credit. I don't know if he's going to succeed. I believe he's going to succeed. Don't mean he's going to succeed. But I believe that when you do what he's doing, I believe it's going to work. He's putting the mentality in place. King Gresh, it don't matter what you said you don't know everybody's cap situation. Nope, you can't separate. But see, that becomes the issue, King Gresh. You can't move the goalpost. You either all in or you're not. You know why? Because King Gresh, the Rams don't mind wrecking their doggone salary cap. Nope, you can't move the goalpost. You're either all in or you're not. And when you're all in, you say the heck with that you say the heck with that doggone cap. And that's exactly what the Rams have done. And we've seen the Eagles do it. They care nothing about the cap. They don't care if they got to put 19 void years in a contract. When they want that man, they're going to get him. Why aren't other teams willing to do that? Because some of these other teams are realizing something. Nah, man, we're not one player away. We're not one player away. It's very few teams that are ever one player away. And that's why I still say, every time I hear this argument about Myles Garrett, I'm going to go back to the Seattle Seahawks. And they got a player that we laughed at when he went to them. Even I laughed at it. He went over there and they won a Super Bowl. Were they all in? Were the Seattle Seahawks all in last year? Did the Seattle Seahawks actually make moves that made anybody say at the beginning of the season, oh, they all in? Yeah, they all in. Anybody say that? Dominique Pittman. I still say I don't get your comment. You said the Rams would have got Trent McDuffie, who's considered one of the best cornerbacks. Not saying that makes them the favorites, but they're making moves. So let me go back. Because again, we can't see the forest for the trees. No matter how many times we explain this, we can't see the forest for the trees. So let's go back. It's the offseason. We got time. So George Pickens, that's not making a move. Drafting Tyler Booker, that's not making a move. Bringing in Javonte Williams, that's not making a move. When you go to the defense, bringing in Christian Parker, that's not making a move. Bringing in BT Jordan, that's not making a move. Getting Quinnen Williams, that's not making a move. 2 first-round picks in Kenny Clark, that's not making moves. Brought in D. Winters, that ain't making moves. Went and got Jalen Thompson, that ain't making moves. Went and got Kobe Durant, that ain't making moves. Went and drafted Caleb Downs, arguably the best draft pick in this draft, but that ain't making moves. Went and got PJ Locke, that ain't making moves. Got Devin Moore, that ain't making moves. Brought in James Houston, that ain't making moves. Got Jayshon Barham, got Malachi Lawrence, got Jonathan Bullard, got Otito Ogbonnia, but those ain't making moves. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know what making moves were. I didn't know what making moves were. So I'm sorry. I must have missed it. I must have missed it. I must have missed what moves are. Oh, I forgot. Oh, we get to determine what the moves are. We get to determine what the all-in moves are. We get to determine what the win-now moves are. Oh, I forgot. None of the moves the Cowboys made, none of those are win-now moves. Quinnen Williams is a rookie. Kenny Clark is a rookie. Rashawn Gary is a rookie. D. Winters is a rookie. Jalen Thompson is a rookie. Kobe Durant is a rookie. Oh, I forgot. We're in rebuild mode because all of those players are new players. Otito Ogbonnia. Oh, I forgot. Kenny Clark, Quinnen, Otito Ogbonnia. Oh, I forgot. Jonathan. Oh, I forgot. These guys are all rookies. We're not in win now mode. We're rebuilding. What? Come on, man. We're I don't even think we know what we're saying. I don't even think we know what we're saying. I don't think we know what we're saying. Demetrius Noel, every single time you say this, every single time, you're going to ignore everything the Cowboys are doing. Every single time. It don't matter what I tell you and other people. You're going to come back with something else. You're just going to keep moving the goalpost. I just showed you at least 10 moves the Cowboys have made, but we're not making moves. None of those are win-now moves. I don't know what you call those. If they're not win-now moves, what are they? What are they? Win-later moves? What? Somebody answer me. What football team makes win-later moves? Unless you're in rebuild mode. But these don't look like win-later moves the Cowboys have made. These are not win-later moves. These are win-now moves. And the Dallas Cowboys, They tried to go get Maxx Crosby. Didn't work. They went and tried to go get Jordan Brooks. Hasn't worked yet. The Cowboys are still trying to make moves. They are still trying to make moves. Let us stop pretending that the Dallas Cowboys are not also still trying to make moves. It is comical to me. We get to determine what the moves are. So none of the moves the Cowboys have made. I guess somebody's gotta help me out. So none of the moves the Cowboys have made are qualified as win now moves. Meanwhile, the Seattle Seahawks went and got Sam Darnold last year and DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't remember anybody calling those win now moves. Are they really win now moves if you don't win now? I don't know. You tell me. But it's amazing to me that Dallas Cowboy fans keep saying the Cowboys are not serious about winning right now because they didn't go get Myles Garrett. So all the other moves, they were not win now moves. I get it. I get it. I get it now. Okay. Those are not win now moves. I get it. Those are not win now moves. The Cowboys have not made a move that qualifies as a win now move. Okay, I got it. This is crazy to me. This is crazy to me. None of the moves the Cowboys have made win now moves. But it's the Myles Garrett move that would have shown everybody the Cowboys are really serious. Oh, I forgot. It wasn't Christian Parker. It wasn't B.T. Jordan. It wasn't Christian Parker. It wasn't B.T. Jordan. It wasn't Rashawn Gary. It wasn't D. Winters. It wasn't Quentin Williams. It wasn't Kenny Clark. It wasn't the 2 first-round picks. It wasn't Jalen Thompson. It wasn't Kobe Durant. It wasn't Caleb Downs. It wasn't Malachi Lawrence. It wasn't Jayshon Barham. It wasn't Devin Moore. It's none of those moves. It's none of those moves. Because none of those moves are win now. Those are just fill in the blank moves. This is comical, man. This is comical. This is comical, man. You can't even get mad about this. It's just comical. I guess people just think what they want to think. But again, I just wonder if them same people talking about Myles Garrett, well, doggone it then. What do you call DeMarcus Lawrence? Was DeMarcus Lawrence a win now move? Because they won a Super Bowl. Was DeMarcus Lawrence a win now move? Because, I mean, can we qualify DeMarcus Lawrence as a win now move? Guess what? Because they did win right now, didn't they? They won right now. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that nobody called DeMarcus Lawrence a win now move. But what did the Seattle Seahawks do? They won right now. They won. They won the Super Bowl. It's amazing to me.
Just what was that moment like when it was Jerry or Steven or whoever told you, hey, we're moving forward with you, you're the next head coach?
Humbling. There's so many incredible coaches in this profession at every level. Again, I think I look back on my journey and, the fact that I'm sitting up here with these 2 men in front of you guys is a great lesson for coaches. It's a great lesson for my kids, for some of our players about persistence. And you get knocked down, you get back up, and you keep working. And I'm incredibly, incredibly honored to be sitting in this chair because it's such an incredible profession with so many great coaches that when I got the news, I really couldn't speak. I really couldn't speak, and immediately I went to seeing my father's face and knowing how proud he would be of me.
And I'll say he turned.
Yeah, Ice Cold, defense wins championships. But the Seattle Seahawks also had a great culture. Mike McDaniel came in there and built a great culture. He absolutely did. And what the Seattle Seahawks did, they didn't do this stuff that we talk about. They didn't go get Myles Garrett. They didn't go get Myles Garrett. because they bought into the system. They didn't think they needed Myles Garrett to win a Super Bowl. But we, as much as we want to be forward thinking, we're backward thinking. Because we always think it's that one player that's going to push us over the top. Would Myles Garrett would have made us better? Yeah, especially if we would have kept the same players. But if you tell me that you're going to get Myles Garrett and get rid of Quinnen Williams, I'm going to tell you, you just robbed Peter to pay Paul. What have I told y'all about dominant players? Dominant players need players around them to dominate. Scottie Pippen was not a Michael Jordan type player, but Michael Jordan needed Scottie Pippen to be the player that he evolved into. You need players so that dominant players can dominate. And if you would have brought Myles Garrett in here and you would have gutted the middle of that defense, which is Quinnen Williams is the anchor of this defense. If you would have traded for, and if you would have gave away a first round pick and got Quinnen and then traded Quinnen to get Myles Garrett, explain to me again how you get better. How did you get better? Even if you would have traded George Pickens for Myles Garrett, how do you get better? Trading away one of the offensive players that makes you better. What are we talking about? In a dreamland, you get Myles Garrett and don't give up maybe a first round pick. But you don't go and trade for Myles Garrett and give up a pivotal player like a Quinnen Williams. Because if the Browns wanted Jalen Carter from the Eagles, then what do we think they wanted from the Cowboys? It could be none other than George Pickens or Quinnen Williams. And if you gave up those two players, I'm sorry, you would be dumber. The Cowboys, that would have been the dumbest move the Dallas Cowboys ever would have made, to give away one of those two players to get Myles Garrett. That would have been dumb. That's absolutely dumb. No, you got to keep building. The problem is with the Dallas Cowboys, everybody wants the solution to be right now. Let's let them keep cooking. They're cooking. They didn't say they were done with the meal. Let's let them keep cooking. Let's stop judging them. No other franchise is judging. And don't get me all this, we hadn't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. Some of those franchises hadn't won Super Bowls in 40 years. But I don't see people running around judging their franchise talking about, yeah, we hadn't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. Some of them teams hadn't won Super Bowls in 40 years. They're not running around judging their team talking about, yeah, they're not all in because they didn't go get Myles Garrett. What? Man, stop this. You gotta stop these kinds of conversations, man. They're just they're just counterintuitive.
Turned around and called his mama right there in front of us, and that was very emotional. And I kind of set him up. I said, you know, you are a first-time coach, and I believe we're hanging around the rim. I think we've got in place. A team that can get there right now. I had other coaches tell me that were wanting the job. You're right there. This, that, and the other. So I started to explain to him, but tongue-in-cheek, that I just couldn't take the risk of going with someone that was doing it for the first time. And then proceeded to go over some of the things that we talked about right there. And that's how he found out. He started, in my mind, finding out we'd be at our Monday morning coaches meetings. And we'd be sitting there, and this year, more often than not, I'd have my head down and just be sitting here listening. And all of a sudden, that shot would pop out. Hell. That's pretty good. This is kind of a somber morning. That's pretty damn good. Okay. Those are the kinds of things that give you an advantage if you've have proximity. And that was an edge. to go along with the many boxes over here that were not checked. But that was kind of the edge. Nobody, no situation checks all the boxes.
Yeah. See, I don't know if y'all realize this, but Jerry Jones just made another great point that people aren't paying attention to. It's amazing to me. And I really don't, I don't really hear these arguments coming from anywhere but us. I don't hear these arguments coming from anybody but us. I haven't heard anybody out there, hardly, that I can remember. All these people who are saying they believe the Cowboys are going to compete for a Super Bowl, I haven't heard one of them say they can't compete because they didn't get Myles Garrett. I haven't heard one of them say the Cowboys are not all in because they didn't get Myles Garrett. I haven't heard any of them say the Cowboys are not serious about winning right now because they didn't get Myles Garrett. It's strange to me that I hear people who absolutely know football, and they're all saying that they believe the Dallas Cowboys are dangerous and they're going to compete for a Super Bowl without Myles Garrett. Why do they all keep saying this? Why do they all keep saying this? Because they're all realizing the same thing. Coaching matters. Coaching matters. And that with the combination of Schotty and Christian Parker, B.T. Jordan, Marcus Dixon, Clayton Adams, this entire crew of coaches, they are believing with the acquisitions the Cowboys have made, with Rain Dakota Prescott being the quarterback, George Pickens a wide receiver, with some of the things they've done on defense with Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, D. Winters, Caleb Downs. It's amazing to me. Why would people think the Cowboys are going to compete for a Super Bowl? Meanwhile, here we are judging and say, oh, the Cowboys, they ain't serious. They ain't serious. Why is everybody saying the moves that we made are serious moves, they're good moves, and then we say, oh, they're not good. They're not good moves. What are we talking about? What I just don't know what we're talking about on this stuff. I don't know what we're talking about. The Cowboys are not just making okay moves. Okay moves? The Cowboys are making great moves. They have made absolutely great moves. These are Super Bowl moves. And they are moving, and I'm telling you, this is why they have a lot of the belief that they have. Because the Seattle Seahawks did it the same way the Cowboys are doing it. Draft picks, quality, draft picks, quality free agents. Oh, and by the way, what did they make the biggest change of? Coaching. The biggest move the Seattle Seahawks made was coaching and culture. And once they got that coaching and that culture implemented, they put a system together that Sam Darnold could flourish in. They put a system together that DeMarcus Lawrence, who could not flourish with the Dallas Cowboys, flourished with the Seattle Seahawks. What are we talking about, man? I just don't know what we're talking about. For as much as some of us say we won't change, we talk like the same old Cowboys. Nope, I'm not talking opinion. I'm talking fact. You're talking opinion because you're talking about the Cowboys made okay moves. No, that's your opinion. The Cowboys have made good and great moves. Again, you tell me the okay move. Quinnen Williams was an okay move. Kenny Clark was an okay move, Dominique. D. Winters was an okay move. Caleb Downs was an okay move. Jalen Thompson was an okay move. Man, I'm not even listening to that. That's just nonsensical talking right there. It's nonsense. There's a difference in subjectivity and objectivity. Subjectivity is literally saying that the Cowboys have made okay moves and you literally went and got a top 3 defensive tackle in the league. Explain to me where that is okay. I'm not putting words in your mouth because I saw exactly what you said earlier. You said the Cowboys have made decent moves. So you telling me Quinnen Williams is a decent move? Convince us. Convince us, Dominique. Convince us that Quinnen Williams is an okay or a decent move. I'm not putting words in your mouth. You said it. You tell me where Quinnen Williams is a decent move. There is nobody who knows football calling Quinnen Williams a decent move. Nobody who knows football is calling Kenny Clark a decent move. Rashawn Gary isn't even a decent move. That's a good move. D. Winters ain't no decent move. That's a good move. What are you talking about? How is Jalen Thompson a decent move? Bass, I'm not agreeing with you. And you know I love you. It's not all opinion. It's a fact. Quinnen Williams is a great move. That's a win now move. Quinnen Williams is a top tier player. I'm not buying what you're talking about. I'm not buying it. You said it's amazing how a top-tier player goes from great to the bottom of the barrel once they sign with the Cowboys. Thank you, Demetrius Noel. Amazing. Amazing. How in the world are we calling Quinnen Williams decent? That ain't no doggone decent move. And we're talking, no. I deal in facts. My opinion may be based on facts, but it's facts. And to say that Quinnen Williams is decent? I just named us all the moves the Cowboys have made. Where are the decent moves? Where are the decent ones? You could tell me they're good, but decent? Okay? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? This is the stuff that comes out of Cowboys Nation. It doesn't come out of anywhere else. This stuff don't come from nowhere else but Cowboys Nation. Nowhere else. Bass, Quinnen Williams is a Super Bowl move. That's not just good. You're talking about the third best defensive tackle in the league. Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary isn't decent. Rashawn Gary is good. D. Winters is good. I'm still waiting on the decent moves. Jalen Thompson, that's not decent. That's good. Borderline great. Kobe Durant, that's not decent. That's good. I'm still waiting on the decent moves. Where are they? Where are the decent moves? I'm not buying this stuff. I'm not buying this stuff. There's a difference in fact and opinion. An opinion is saying that Kobe Durant is the best cornerback in the league. Fact is, Kobe Durant's a good cornerback. That ain't no doggone opinion. Ain't no doggone opinion. I'm not buying into that. The Dallas Cowboys have made great moves. They have made great and good moves, and they have made Super Bowl moves. I'm still waiting on the decent moves. I'm still waiting. Somebody's got to tell me I'm still waiting. Darian Kendrick. Okay, I can give you one decent there. PJ Locke. I'm not even going decent on PJ Locke. I'm not even going decent on PJ Locke. And the draft picks, we're going to call the draft picks decent? Caleb Downs, I guess he was decent. I guess he's just good. I guess Caleb Downs is just good. What are we talking about? You can't even call Devin Moore a decent move. You can't even call Jayshon Barham and Malachi Lawrence decent moves. What are we talking about? I talked about this same thing on Sunday. One of the things that people do way too much for me, people build in excuses to fail. People want to say the Cowboys aren't doing this and the Cowboys aren't doing that. So when the Cowboys lose, they say, I told you so. Oh, I told you the Cowboys didn't do this and the Cowboys. This is what people do. They build in excuses to fail. This is nonsense. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Timmy Terry, believe me, I'm calm. I'm not buying this. I'm not buying this. We keep talking about the Cowboys made decent moves. Cowboys made great moves and good moves. What are we talking about? And it's amazing to me. Jerry Jones just made the point. There are coaches who wanted to coach the Cowboys because they were saying something. You're right there. We believe that we can take your team over the top. Why would they be saying that? Why would they be saying stuff like that? And again, I appreciate you, Robert Johnson, because I'm not considering Marquez Valdez-Scantling as nothing but a camp body. Even though the Cowboys may try to move him and see what he got. I'm talking about these moves that the Cowboys have made as in trades. I mean, the trades, the free agency, and the draft. The Cowboys have made absolutely great moves. I'm not worried about these guys they picked up all back here on the back end. I'm not worried about these guys. Because, again, let me talk fact to us again. This ain't opinion. This is fact. You do know they have to fill up a 91-man roster for training camp. They have to fill up a 91-man roster, if not 92. So, of course, you're going to have some of these players back here. Of course you're going to, because you got to fill up. I appreciate you, Robert Johnson. But, Robert Johnson, I appreciate you, but I think you're making a good point. Because some people will actually point to those moves, Robert Johnson, and say, yeah, they made that move right there. We got to fill up a roster. But we all know, if we're being honest with ourselves, man, there's only about eight roster spots on this Dallas Cowboys team. There is literally only about 8 roster spots. Bottom line. There's only about 8 roster spots. Man, this doggone team is good. I've already done this. You can compare this team to that doggone Seattle Seahawks team that won the Super Bowl. And this team is looking eerily similar. They're looking eerily similar. And they're focusing on the right thing. So many people, because I keep hearing this from people, for as much as they keep saying, yeah, we want the Cowboys to do things different, and then the Cowboys are doing things different. Well, it don't really look that different. And then people keep saying, oh, yeah, we want them to be different. But then we keep talking like the same old Cowboys. Yeah, because we got to get this player, because that player is going to guarantee. No, the greatest thing we did this offseason was hire Christian Parker, bring in B.T. Jordan, bring in Marcus Dixon, bring in this coaching staff, and then get players that fit the system of Christian Parker. It's the single greatest thing that we did. It's the single greatest thing that we did. We got to start being like a lot of these teams that are actually winning Super Bowls rather than being like teams that we want to win the Super Bowls. The teams that are winning Super Bowls, they're implementing systems that are great. They get players that fit their system. They execute it, nothing more, nothing less, and they win games. People don't realize how genius the Philadelphia Eagles were when they won that Super Bowl. They went and got a team that fit around Jalen Hurts. They got a team that fit exactly who Jalen Hurts is. Nothing more, nothing less. They drafted well. People don't give them enough credit. They drafted well. They added in some free agents here and there. Saquon Barkley is probably the biggest one that I can think of. But when you think about what they did, they went out there and they emphasized the system. And this is where Jerry is. Jerry is listening to Schotty and listening to Christian Parker, and he's listening to him tell him, nah, bro, it's the system. It's the system. You got to let us build you a system. And if you let us build you a system, then we can get players that can fit the system, and you can get more bang for your buck when you get a system and get players that fit a system, rather than going out there trying to break the bank and getting a player, but he don't fit a system, but you're depending on him and it's all or nothing. We've been here and done this. We did it with Michael Parsons. We've been here and done this. And I'm telling us right now, there is not a world that we could have got Myles Garrett and kept Quinnen Williams. Because this is why the Philadelphia Eagles, who are, if there's anybody who's always in win now mode, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Even they told the Cleveland Browns no. They did not want to give up Jalen Carter to get Myles Garrett plus give up draft picks. Why didn't they do it? If there's anybody who's always in win now mode, it's the Eagles. They didn't do it. Because they realized that would have been cutting off your nose to spite your face. And you actually don't increase the power of your team. You just took away a great player to add a great player. It doesn't make sense. Absolutely doesn't make sense. Every single time. And that's why I keep saying with these Cowboys, man, we got to let them keep cooking. Just got to let them keep cooking because they're doing a great job. Just let them keep cooking. Give them credit where credit is due, and let's let them keep cooking.
Nick Harris, Forward Start Telegram. This first one's for Jerry right here in the front.
Well,
Right here. You obviously know the man to your right very well. When you talk to fans, fans are super impatient. They see two NFC East teams playing yesterday. Obviously, the drought that we've spoken to. I know you've spoken to fan sentiment, but why should fans buy into Brian Schottenheimer?
well, you have touched on one point. Our fans have been very patient. Very patient. And through you to them, I want to tell them how appreciative
Not at this point in time, Daniel.
of the support and of their interest in the Dallas Cowboys. Now, there's a whole bunch of those fans that look and are interested because they want to see me grovel, whatever it is. But I'm not putting that up there much. But to those fans who have been with us, this decision to bring Schotty in is risky. It's not a Hail Mary at all in any way. But it's founded over some very unique, as I started off, unique sets of circumstances. I know how much our fans are into the Dallas Cowboys. And for me to be into it is no solace at all. We're interested, they're interested, I'm interested in getting to those playoffs and winning. This is the best way that we can go to the playoffs and win.
Now, if you didn't catch what that answer is, Jerry is saying, we understand how impatient the fans are. And this is a part of the reason why more skepticism comes from this fan base. Man, more skepticism comes from this fan base than people on the outside. And it didn't used to be like this, because I do think that people on the outside are actually recognizing that the Cowboys are actually doing some things that are showing that they want to win. They want to win. And they're recognizing they're not just wanting to win, they're making moves that will or can equate into a Super Bowl. This is why people are saying this about they're saying this about the Cowboys. But don't misconstrue what Jerry just said. Jerry just said, this is the best way to win. What's that, Jerry? I want us to just let this marinate for a second, what Jerry Jones just said. This is why I want to go back and play this interview, this press conference for us again, to just hear some of the things that they were saying then and they're implementing now. Listen to what Jerry said right here. This is a very pivotal statement.
Now, there's a whole bunch of those fans that look and are interested because they want to see me grovel, grovel, whatever it is. But I'm not putting that up there much. But to those fans who have been with us, this decision to bring Schotty in is risky. It's not a Hail Mary at all in any way. But it's founded over some very unique, as I started off, unique sets of circumstances. I know how much our fans are into the Dallas Cowboys. And for me to be into it is no solace at all. We're interested, they're interested, I'm interested in getting to those playoffs and winning. This is the best way that we can go to the playoffs and win.
You can't handle the truth.
You heard what he said? Did you hear what he said? Jerry Jones just told us something. And what he just told us is exactly what they're doing. It's not just Schottenheimer. Jerry is saying coaching is the best way for us to win. Coaching. Better coaching. Better ways of doing things. And it starts with the coaching. This is what Jerry is saying. He's saying something. And I told y'all this the other day. Jerry was emotional when they hired Schotty because Jerry was, how do you communicate? It's the same thing that I do when I talk to us. How do you communicate that you know something that other people, or you see something that other people don't see? How do you communicate it? How do you communicate it? How do you communicate that to people when people have just said, oh, they've saw you over and over and over. They've seen over and over and over. They're like, no, it's just the same thing over and over and over. And Jerry is saying something. This was the best way for us to win. Coaching. Because we don't want to admit it, but it's been the biggest weakness. It's been the biggest weakness. The coaching and the mentality, and that comes from the coach. And it also comes from the top down, even with him. And what Brian has done a good job of. Brian has done a good job of even getting Jerry and Steven on the same page. What Brian Schottenheimer has done is absolutely incredible. Brian Schottenheimer sold Jerry before Jerry even hired him. That's why his name kept coming up. That's why his name kept coming up. And so he's saying this was the best way to win. It wouldn't have mattered if the Cowboys would have went and brought in, any player you name. I don't care who you bring in. You can't let a deer lead a pack of lions. You cannot let a deer, I said this about Mike McCarthy last year. You cannot let a deer lead a pack of lions. But I guarantee you can let a lion lead a pack of deers. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. A deer can lead a lion can lead a pack of deer. But a deer can't lead a pack of lions. That's been their problem. That has absolutely been their problem every single time. Jeremy Betts said it's been that 94 NFC Championship game in a 2000 year would have been different with competent coaching. Yep, and also 2016. I think 2016 too. I think 2016 is different with coaching. I absolutely believe 2016 is better with coaching. Bass said, I wonder if Jerry and Brian have had any headbutting. Now, Jerry has alluded to this. He said they have had some headbutting. He said, because in my opinion and from what we're seeing, I wouldn't be shocked if Schotty is now the third most powerful person in the organization. I agree. It sounds like it to me. It sounds like it to me. Schotty has gained a lot, and he's earned it. Not just gained it, he's earned it. Old school will preach. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Gwen Bowden said, gee, we've had a lot of bandwagon fans They all over the Cowboys when they win. And gee, the minute the Cowboys lose a game, they start the finger pointing, they start acting different, and start talking dumb. Gwen Bowden, I'm just waiting. If the Cowboys don't win the Super Bowl this year, if they don't go to the playoffs, now if they go to the playoffs and win a game or two, I think a lot of people will be happy. But if this thing doesn't go right, it's because they didn't get Myles Garrett. Should have got Maxx Crosby. It'll be every single reason rather than the opponent. Glenn Harrison said, Jerry has finally realized it. I'm all in as all of us true fans should be. We're doing it this year. They're doing a lot of things great. Yeah, they're doing a lot of things great. Blakey, you said Jerry need to let you run the team. Well, thankfully, it sounds like he's letting Brian Schottenheimer run the team. And not just Brian Schottenheimer, but this little coalition that they have. Frank Lawrence said only 32 people on earth are starting NFL quarterback ones, and we have one of the best, Dak Prescott. No doubt. Yeah, Jeremy Betts. I think it would have been different in 2016 had we had the coaching. I think it would have been different. Big Mouse Dog said, no, not Romo. That man had air between. Big Mouse Dog, boy, I'm telling you. Boy, man, I can remember like yesterday when Jessica Simpson was up there showing out that Romo jersey, boy. We should have knew it was problems right there. Boy, you know what, though? Hey, let me tell you something, Big Mouse Dog. Let me tell you something that, you know, kind of when you look back in hindsight and you think about Tony Romo. Tony Romo failed, man. Tony Romo was Hollywood, bruh. A lot of us may not realize it, but man, Tony Romo, man, he just tried to be Hollywood. Man, Tony Romo had a little stint. I don't know if y'all remember. Tony Romo had a little stint, man, where he was running through some of these famous women, man. Tony Romo was running through a couple of these famous women. He really was, man. Tony Romo was basking in all the glory of the Dallas Cowboys, bruh. He was basking in all the glory of the Dallas Cowboys. He went Hollywood on us, Big Boss Dog.
My next one's for Brian, if I could really quick. You've worked with Dak Prescott for 3 years now. Obviously, he had a lot of support for you. What do you feel like you two can work on together to unlock even more of his game?
Well, before I respond to that, I'd like to go back with one thing, Nick. Like, I'm not doing this by myself. I've got the incredible support of Jerry, Steve, and the Jones family. The young men that are sitting behind you, we're doing this together.
Yes.
So my message to the Cowboys fans and community is we're going to do this together. And we're going to build this thing the right way. We're going to get the culture right. The X's and O's will come. That doesn't matter. But the support and the work ethic of these guys that sit behind me, incredibly humbling that they know what it takes to win too. So it's not just me. It'll be me and the staff. Your second question, I apologize, what?
Stop again. I'm telling you, this is why I wanted us to go back and listen to this press conference. What did Brian Schottenheimer just say? We're going to build this the right way. You know what he's saying? They've been building it wrong. They've been building it wrong. They've been building it wrong. Listen to him.
Well, before I respond to that, I'd like to go back with one thing, Nick. Like, I'm not doing this by myself.
Yes.
I've got the incredible support of Jerry, Steve, and the Jones family. The young men that are sitting behind you, we're doing this together. So
that part right there. That part right there. Listen what he says next.
My message to the Cowboys fans and community is we're going to do this together. And we're going to build this thing the right way. We're going to get the culture right. The X's and O's will come. That doesn't matter.
What have I been saying? What have I been saying? Did I not start this stream off saying this exact same thing? Everybody keeps saying they want to see it on the field. We're going to see it on the field because we have no choice. What have I been saying? I'm not as interested in what they're doing on the field. I'm more interested in what they're doing off the field. I'm more interested in the culture. I'm more interested in what they're putting in their brains right now. I'm more interested in, are they absorbing the system so that we can get it before Thanksgiving. What have I been saying? Everybody keeps boiling it down to what's on the field. But Brian Schottenheimer is emphasizing exactly what I've been emphasizing. So is a man thinking, so is he. That's Bible. So is a man thinking, so is he. Can I help us with something? As I say in church, you can't make dum-dums win. You can't make dum-dums win. You can't make people win who don't buy into the system. You can't make people win who you're not teaching how to win. It's a mental game. I keep telling us, man, talent is extra. And what I mean by that, so many of these players in this league are talented. There are some players that are talented and just didn't get the chance in this league. Talent is extra because you're in a league where there's a lot of talented players. The players who truly excel are the players who got it up here. They truly excel. They truly excel. And when they got it up here, they may even play better than a player that's more talented than them. But if they get it up here and they're talented, they got the physical ability, they will blow anybody out of the water that is equally as talented and they don't have the brain. Schotty is talking about the brain part of this thing. And that's the part that we're not giving Schotty enough credit for. We are thinking backwards as much as we want to think forward. We keep thinking it's all about certain players. Schotty's been telling us this from the beginning. We're going to build this the right way. Culture, coaching, and players that fit what we are and what we want to do. He's been telling us from the beginning. He's been telling us from the beginning.
But the support and the work ethic of these guys
yes.
that sit behind me, incredibly humbling that they know what it takes to win too. So it's not just me, it'll be me and the staff. Your second question, I apologize, was?
You've worked with Dak for the last 3 years. What do you feel like you can get out of him? What do you feel like he can get out of you as well?
You know, iron sharpens iron, and Dak and I have an incredible relationship, just like I have an incredible relationship with
Lil D, Texas, Brian Schottenheimer is about to answer your question.
All these guys. Dak and I know how to push each other's buttons. We know how to...
Now, Country Field, hold on, because I get what you're saying, but let's put what he's saying in the context. When he's saying that the X's and O's don't matter, Country Field, let's understand what he's saying, because I've been saying this earlier. But if I get you to think right, the X's and O's come easy. The X's and O's come easy. If I get you to buy into the system and you execute the system, then the X's and O's take care of themselves. This is where they were wrong last year with Matt Eberflus. The system was broken. They couldn't get the system down. They didn't know where to line up. They didn't know what to do. And when you don't know where to line up and you don't know what to do, how do you execute? How do you tackle? How do you stop people? The X's and the O's will take care of themselves. They will take care of themselves if you will get players who got the right kind of mind and they buy into the system. I talked about this yesterday. Matter of fact, let me give you my subject title from yesterday. I had a subject title yesterday of Don't Whine, Just Shine. Yeah, it's a Bible verse in the Bible in Philippians chapter 2 where Paul tells the church at Philippi, do all things without grumbling and complaining. Yeah, I wish people could learn how to do that. Paul said, do all things without grumbling and complaining. But one of the things that I keyed the congregation in on, Country Field, is that, but Paul said something before that if you don't get what he said before that, then you won't get what he said right there. But before he said that, he said, but have this mind in you that was also in Christ Jesus. Now, let's follow something and apply this very dynamic to what is being said right here. I said my subject matter was don't whine, just shine. And I told people from that point that Paul made have this mind in you that was also in Christ Jesus, that you have to have the right mind to shine. Amen, Walls. Pass the plate. It's time to have communion. You can't shine without the right mind. And this is what's wrong with folk. They have the wrong attitude, and then they think they're shining. They may have all the physical ability in the world, may have all the ability in the world, but all they do is walk around and complain about what they don't have rather than what they do have. You got to have the right mind to shine, and that's the part people don't understand. If your mind ain't right, you not right. I don't care what you're doing. If your mind isn't right, you're not right. I got to get your mind right, Countryfield. That's what Brian is saying. I got to get your mind right before the X's and O's matter. Because the X's and O's ain't, or the X's and O's in the grand scheme of things, they don't matter if your mind not right. It's the same thing with the word of God. If your mind not right, you'll hear the word of God, but you won't obey the word of God. It's the same playbook over and over and over. So is a man thinking, so is he. That's all Brian is saying. That's all Brian is saying. Yeah, man, I got to get your mind right. I absolutely have to get your mind right. It's futility. Have you ever tried to do something with a hard-headed person? A person that don't comprehend, a person that don't get it? You're working 3 times as hard to do the same thing. Heck no. Nah, man, I got to get your mind right. This is what's been wrong with these Dallas Cowboys. The minds hasn't been right, man. Mine hasn't been right. It's exactly what he's saying. Exactly, Bass. He's saying they're building it wrong. They've been building it. And what have I told y'all about Jerry Jones? The biggest mistake that Jerry Jones made about Jimmy Johnson. Jerry thought that Jimmy built this team with talent. Jimmy didn't build this team with talent only. Jimmy built a mentality before he built a team. Jimmy built a mentality long before that Herschel Walker trade. That's the part people don't understand. Pass the plate. It's time to have communion. Pass the plate. That's the part people don't understand. Jimmy built a culture. Jimmy built a mentality. Jimmy built a standard long before the Herschel Walker trade. I got news for you. The Herschel Walker trade can't come before the mentality, the culture, or the standard. The trade can't come before that, because if it does, it gets in the way of the culture, the mentality. It gets in the way of all of those things. People always want to put the horse before the carriage. Hold on a second. We got to build this thing in the right order. We got to build it in the right order. That's what he's been telling. This is exactly what Brian just said. The X's and O's ain't going to matter if you ain't got the right kind of minds. Bottom line. Shoot. Man, bottom line. Man, you got to have the right mind you want to succeed. A lot of people don't realize they fail because of their minds. They don't fail because of their ability. They don't fail because of their ability. Bottom line. Shoot, Brian, man, y'all might not realize it. Brian is up in here tearing this thing up. Gerald Jackson said, "What up, Gerald?" He said, "Preparation with inspiration is a ticket." Man, Brian is tearing this thing up, man. And everything that Brian said, what I'm pointing out to you is he's doing it. Look at this culture now versus what it was when he took it over. And again, we're going to get the litmus test. A lot of us think the litmus test is, oh, what is it going to do on the field? I think it's going to do pretty good on the field. You got 4. JCT Slice says it all the time. But my biggest thing is, I think where this is going to show up is in the little things. It's going to be in the little things. The one score games. the go-ahead win drives. The drives that put the game out of reach, or the drive that says we got the first down and we need it. And the one that I'm really going to be looking at, because we talked about it last year, the penalties. The penalties. The penalties. It's the penalties I'm going to be looking at. I'm not going to be looking at just the stuff on the field. It's the stuff off the field that's going to determine what they do on the field. Will they do the little things right? And the last year, you know what messed up the Cowboys? They did a whole lot of little things wrong. Pun intended. They did a lot of little things wrong. They did a lot of big things right. But you can't do a lot of big things right and a whole lot of little things wrong. Now, you got to do the little things. It's the little things that wins championships. That's the stuff people don't know, man. It's the little things that bring success in life. Everybody want to be at the front. Man, you got to be willing to be at the back. What did I tell you about Brian Schottenheimer? Came in as a coach, willing to do the things that other people weren't willing to do. Oh, I don't have to be at the front. I'll just sweep the floor for right now. Oh, I'll take out the trash. I'll wash the dishes. I'll play the background. This man was in the background 3 years. That's how you win championships, bro. That's how you win championships. That's how you win it. Gerald Jackson said talent is a part of the equation. Ultimately, it's one band, one sound, block out the noise and get busy. Gerald Jackson, let me tell you something. I'll take the talent of an entire team, coaching staff, front office, ownership. I'll take that being in synchronicity over a team with 3 or 4 just great players. I'll take it every single time. I'll take a great team over great players every single time. Country Field, he said, my football coach used to say, get your freaking mind right in practice. Say it again. Say it again. Robert Dudley said, if your mind isn't right, you're not going to be right. Bottom line. So is a man thinking, so is he. That's why the Holy Spirit of God is so important in a Christian's life. We make the Holy Spirit of God in the hocus pocus. Man, that's your mind. The Holy Spirit of God resides in your mind through the teaching of the Word of God. That's where the Holy Spirit resides. That's where he lives and resides. And if your mind ain't right, by the teaching and the living of the word, the teaching and the living of the word of God, then you're not right. Bottom line. That's why you hear people all the time talk about God and do everything the opposite of what God says. That's those people. No, the real people hear right and do right. It's the mind, man. It's the mind that this man is working on. Mr. Get Dirty said the football gospel. Yes, sir. I'm just telling us the truth, man. People don't realize, man, football's a mental sport. It's as much of a mental sport as it is a physical sport. People always talk about physicality. No, I want to talk about mentality. Man, let me tell y'all something. I've watched guys who are smaller than guys whip them all over the place because of technique. They understand technique. They understood the teaching. Their mental game is way better than someone else. Man, I'm telling you. Shoot. Old school said you can't do right and with a do wrong mind. Shoot. Better say it. Better say it, man. People don't understand the mind is the biggest part of your success. I teach my sons and talk to people about this, because sometimes, for example, people will ask you like, man, how do you do YouTube? How do you get successful on YouTube? It's actually hard to tell somebody how to actually be successful on YouTube. I mean, somebody can tell you all the technical stuff. They can tell you how to start a page. They can tell you how to start a page and, all the background stuff. They can show you all the technical stuff. They can show you all the equipment. But what a lot of people don't understand about YouTube and things that pertain to entertainment, for example. The product is you. The issue is you. You can have the greatest equipment in the world, the greatest cameras, the greatest sound stuff. But where a lot of people, they fail, it's what's in their mind. Because whatever's in your mind comes out of your mouth. Whatever's in your mind, it comes out in your actions. And a lot of people don't realize this, the reason why some people are not successful on YouTube with all of the best equipment. You sell yourself on YouTube. It's not the equipment. You're the product. It's what you're bringing to the game based on the knowledge, based on the morals, and people miss this part of YouTube. It's not just the knowledge, it's the morals, it's the values, it's the way that you do things. People miss all that. Your mind is the determiner of a lot of your success. It is. And a lot of people don't understand that. And this is why with these Dallas Cowboys, what I keep focusing on, I'm not as worried about the play because I think they got some talented players. I'm not as worried about on the field as I'm worried about, do they have it right before they get on the field? Because if they get it right before they get on the field stuff is going to come so easy. And the real litmus test is going to be when we play them doggone Rams in that preseason game. That's what I'm waiting on. But man, Schotty was already telling us what he was doing, and we just were not listening. He was already telling us. Yeah, he was already telling us. Yeah, hey, Dudley, your mental game is your conduct. Every single time. Yeah. Virgil, football is very mental, man. Football is very, very mental. I'm going to tell you about me. I'll use myself as an example, Virgil. Virgil, did you play football? I'm going to tell you about me when it came to football. I had some talent. But I was actually a kid in school where football, when I was growing up, isn't like what it is now. I mean, when I was in high school, guys didn't necessarily play football and say, yeah, man, I'm going to the pros. You know, we didn't have all these, whatever they call these little leagues. They have all these elite leagues or whatever they call them, and kids playing in the spring and in the summer, and you know, they got all these little leagues and stuff. They didn't have that stuff when I was in school. I mean, when I was in school, summer came, you didn't do nothing else until school started. And you didn't even play football all year round. You played football was over, you played basketball, you ran track. I mean, it was just a vicious cycle. And I was one of these kids that, you know, I didn't know what I know now, but I was one of these kids, I was always kind of like, you know, I used to rap back in the day. I had a rap group back in the day. I used to travel. I used to perform. I could dance real good. Used to dress really well. I mean, I was a pretty popular guy in school without playing football. Some guys played football just for popularity. Well, I didn't have to play football for popularity. And I was one of these people where when I went and tried to play football in high school, it wasn't that I couldn't play because I was actually pretty good. Man, my mentality when it came to football was trash. Man, my mentality was trash when it came to football. My mentality was nothing like I see these young men today, like even my sons, how their mentality was. Man, I didn't care nothing about playing no football. And I can remember when I went out there in my sophomore year. I went into the off-season program. I was going to play in my junior year. I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to come on in my junior year. I'm going to come on in my junior year, man. I'm going to go be a superstar football player because I was fast. I'm not telling you I ran no 4.3, 40, 4.2, 40. I'm not telling you none of that nonsense. I'm not going to try to paint myself as a superstar. But I was fast. I was quick. And one thing that I actually had that some kids didn't have at my age range, I had very good hands. Very good hands. Even to this day, I could go out there and you could throw footballs. Man, I can catch footballs all kinds of ways. But my talent didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I had no real desire to play football. I really didn't. I had no real desire to play it. and because I had no real desire to play it, when they are explaining all the X's and the O's, I'm not really worried about the X's and O's because I'm so used to just going out there and say, okay, you just run straight down the field or you run a slant play or whatever the case may be. But, man, when you start explaining all the X's and the O's, man, I got rap lyrics to remember. I'm worried about what I'm wearing to school tomorrow. I'm worried about what some girl gonna think. I'm worried about everything but the X's and O's of football. Guess what? I didn't make it in my junior year. My mind wasn't right when it came to football. Man, I didn't have the mentality to go out there. And even though I could have made the team, and I was really to the point of I was on the verge of taking the place of some players who had been playing all the way through middle school to high school. And I was like, man, I don't really have the mentality. I don't really want to do this. So why don't I let somebody who want to do it? Because I can tell you right now, I would have got in one of the biggest moments in a game, and I guarantee you, I probably would have fumbled, wouldn't have made a catch, or would have went in the wrong direction or something because my mind wasn't right. Man, you got to have your heart and mind into this game. Your mentality got to be right to succeed, especially when you're playing people, playing against people who, it's one thing when you're out playing people on your team. Man, you run up against some teams and they be way more talented than you. And it takes some mentality to beat teams sometimes when, they're better than you. I had a friend, he was great. We played together in middle school and he went on to play in high school. He was great. I mean, he was absolutely great, man. Wound up going to the pros. But when he got to the pros, didn't make it past training camp. He told me, I was like, why didn't you make it? He said, man, everybody was good. Everybody was good, man. People don't realize what separates players sometimes on these teams is mentality. It's not the talent. There's a reason why players like Paris Campbell running a 4-2, why hasn't he made an NFL team yet? Had to wind up retiring? How many of these 4-2 players, we have players, they run the fastest time in the combines, and a lot of them don't make the pros. Because it's not just about running, man. Oh, no, that was middle school, Blakey. I played in the church shoes, bro. I played in the church shoes in middle school, man, when we used to play. I played in the church shoes. The Beaches nowhere appreciate that $10 super chat. Frank Lawrence said, can biased media disparage the 12 teams never won a Super Bowl? And again, Frank Lawrence, and do we dare say those teams aren't making all-in moves? Every year they think they're making all-in moves. Poopa D said, gee, he said my nickname was Hands on Deck. Yeah, you better than me. Country Field, you ain't lying, boy. I was worried about them girls, bro. Bro, I was stupid, bro. I ain't lying to you, bro. I was stupid, man. Stupid, boy. I ain't lying. I was stupid, bro. But again, man, it takes the right mentality to do these things, man. Oh, man, Troy, you just made another great example. Johnny Manziel, the dude was talented, man. And thank God Jerry Jones didn't get him because he wanted to get him. Johnny Manziel is the best example of you can't make it into the NFL on talent alone. Boy, you ain't lying, because Johnny Manziel was it, man. He was it. He's great. Boy, Lil D. Boy, you ain't lying, boy. Lil D Texas said changed the padded practice from Oxnard County to Foyer to South of Oak Cliff. Boy, you ain't lying, boy. That'll get your mind right. Shoot, make them uncomfortable to the championship of Super Bowl, boy. Boy, you ain't lying. Get out there, boy. Get out there in South Oak Cliff. Shoot, boy, you ain't lying, boy. Robert Johnson said Rashawn Gary is bigger and faster than Myles Garrett. Don't you say that out loud. Don't you say that out loud.
Have hard conversations. I laugh because I think about in training camp last year, a ball got intercepted, and we kind of had a thing in place where it was like, if you throw an interception, you come out. And so I took Dak out, and he's like, what? Like, he pushed back. He's like, and the competitor in him is special. And so I think he and I working together, along with the rest of the guys, putting together the system. There'll be tweaks.
What did I just say again? System. Schotty's been saying this stuff. If you really think back to listening, and we're listening to part 3 tomorrow, because I want to cover these other topics we're going to pick up right here tomorrow. Everything I've been telling you, Schotty was already saying this stuff in his introductory press conference. If you think about what they were saying, they were already saying it was never going to be about a player. Are you hearing what I'm saying? They were always saying it was never going to be about a player. We've heard the same things from Schotty now that we're watching. Culture, brotherhood, and now what did we just hear? System. System. This team is moving different, and they're really moving in a different direction. Because I'm telling you, man, if there is one thing we can say about Jerry Jones, now he's always put some players out here. Jerry's biggest issue, he's never put teams together. And I will say he's probably put together about 3. Tony Romo was the quarterback of one of them. It was Tony Romo. We've already talked about Tony Romo. Man, Tony Romo was running through them women and golfing. And, man, Tony was being Hollywood with the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, 2016 was a great opportunity. Might have had one. I think we had the one that year when Tony Pollard broke the leg. 2023, I believe it was fool's gold. We couldn't stop the run. But Schotty is saying something. It's not going to be about players around here. It's going to be about systems. We're going to put a system in place where the players can succeed. Just told us again. System. Coaching. Jerry Jones told us this was the best way for us to win. Coaching. So he hired Brian Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer, what is he talking about? Coaching and systems. Have y'all noticed it again? They're not talking about players. They're not talking about players. And one of the reasons why they're not talking about players is because they feel like they already had a lot of great players on the offensive side of the ball. And they thought they had some on the defensive side of the ball. But they're even better on defense now. But I'm more impressed with the coaching. I'm more impressed with the coaching and the culture. I'm more impressed with those things. We're going to knock out part 3 of this tomorrow. We're gonna knock out part 3 of this tomorrow, man. I'm telling you, this is great to go back and listen to. This is absolutely great to go back and listen to. And I got the other pivotal one. We're going to go back and listen to that too because we got like 4 weeks. So we're going to go back and listen to that one too. But I want to bring us up to date on some of the latest Cowboy news. I want to spend the next 30 minutes doing that. We got some newer Cowboy news. Let's get over here. This is a quick hit. Sports Illustrated.
Yes! Here we go!
Sports Illustrated is trying to guess the Dallas Cowboys, at least from what my understanding is. They're trying to guess the Dallas Cowboys 53-man roster. So let's see if we agree with this. Do we agree with Sports Illustrated and its guessing of the Dallas Cowboys 53-man roster? All right. So SportsIllustrated.com on their Dallas Cowboy portion says predicting the Dallas Cowboys 53-man roster entering July. And again, I've already told y'all before, and I think a lot of y'all already know this. We don't have a lot of roster spots on this team. And the reality is we just don't. We just don't have a lot of roster spots. I mean, we are going to have a battle in camp this year. And they're battling for about 8 spots on this team. And some of those spots are not even, and I would even say some of them, the majority of those spots are not even starting spots. They're not. They're not even starting spots. We just don't have a lot of, I mean, we're going to have some competition, but the reality is this team, because it's, as the 70s fans show said, Jerry started building this team last year. And because they started building this team last year, the Cowboys pretty much have the starters on this team unless somebody comes in here and just shocks everybody and knocks off a starter. But really what you're looking at is more of the second-tier players. And I don't even think a lot of them can be knocked off. You're probably looking at more of the fourth and the fifth player in positions. So let's look at what they're saying here, the quarterback position. So we already know this is etched in stone as far as Dak Prescott go. The battle is going to be between Sam Howell and Joe Milton. So here we are. Sam Howell and Joe Milton. They're battling for a spot. And I got a feeling that one of them would probably be on the active roster and the other one might be on the practice squad. But it's Sam Howell and Joe Milton. That's going to be a battle. We're going to talk more in depth about these as we get closer to the camp. Running back situation. Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa, Hunter Lipke, notable cuts, Malik Davis. I think they probably got this part right. That's probably the running back crew. Would y'all not agree? I believe that these guys are here to compete. The running backs in this room right now. Malik Davis. I've already told y'all this about Malik Davis. I'm not sure what's going on with the Cowboys and Malik Davis. But the Cowboys have had Malik Davis around for years, and they cut him, they bring him back, whatever the case may be. And I think the Cowboys are saying that they feel like that Malik Davis has hit his ceiling. They've seen everything they need to see. He's more of an emergency back. I watched film on Israel Abanikanda. Didn't like what I saw. Did not like what I saw with Israel Abanikanda. Didn't like it. And then, of course, we'll see if maybe this kid, Dominique Richardson, you can't see him because of an ad. I tried to get it off. There it is. Dominique Richardson. Dominique Richardson, you know, he'll be in here to compete. I could see Dominique Richardson being a practice squad player. But I really believe when you look at this Dallas Cowboys roster, I think the running back room is set. Unless something happens. Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa, Hunter Lipke. Unless somebody of notable ability and that fits what Schotty wants to do comes available. But I think Phil Maffa is going to be the running back that's going to spell Javonte Williams. And I think Jaden Blue is going to be something altogether. Appreciate you, old school. We got probably about another 25 minutes. But I think the running back room is here. Wide receivers. Again, you're only playing for maybe one or two spots. I mean, look, see, George Pickens really set the pecking order of this wide receiver room. Pickens, Lamb, Flournoy, and Turpin are etched in stone. I believe Anthony Smith will be here because he is the draft pick of this season. And look at how large the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver room is. Isn't it insane that we actually let Ryan Flournoy, didn't we let him go last year and let him go to the practice squad or something and then brought him back to the active roster? I bet they won't get away with that this year. I bet they won't get away with it this year. But he's here to stay. When you look at these man, look at this. Mingo, I call him Mango. And nothing derogatory when I call him Mango. That's just the country in me. A 4th round pick wasted. Trayshawn Holden, I think he's good. I think he's going to probably have to go to another team. I don't think any of these guys back here make it. Denzel Mims, these are camp guys. All these are camp guys. This thing is set. The Cowboys roster is set. I think Anthony Smith will be the 5th addition on the wide receiver room. Yep, notable cuts. Jonathan Mingo, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I think I agree. Y'all tell me what you think. Oh, this is interesting right here. This is interesting. Frank Lawrence, where are you? Frank Lawrence, where are you? Lil D, Texas? I think I'm with you, Lil D, Texas. I think I'm with you. I think Michael Trigg is about to knock Luke Schoonmaker out the box. Michael Trigg is about to knock Luke. Luke has lost the force. It's over. It's over. Trigg is here to stay. And Trigg being in the third spot, don't be fooled. Do not be fooled. Trigg, they're going to do some things with Trigg. You watch what I tell you. They're going to move Trigg. I wouldn't be surprised. They line him up at the tight end position, put him in motion, let him move out to the slot in the wide receiver position, match him up on a smaller cornerback or a safety or a linebacker, and it's over. Michael Trigg, I'm telling us, and I know some of y'all know this, Michael Trigg is a freak athlete. I believe that one Brian Schottenheimer is going to be able to do some things with him. I see nothing I disagree with so far. Okay, offensive line, Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, Terrence Steele, Drew Shelton, Nate Thomas, TJ Bass, Nick Leverett. Let me see here. I don't think I see anything on that offensive line that I necessarily disagree with. Y'all tell me what you think. But again, this is all about the fact that the Cowboys have actually been building a pretty good team, depth-wise too. And so I think it's going to be pretty hard for a lot of these players to make the team. Yeah, Guyton, Smith, BB, Booker, Steele, Shelton, Nate Thomas, Nick Leverett. Let me look back over that one more time. Yep, that looks about right to me. I see no changes. I see no changes. I think that's about right. Demetrius Noel said, G. Schoonmaker has to go. He should have been a part of the Mozzie package. I agree. Walking Ragmail, I agree with you. Tyler Guyton, he really needs to step up. If he has a big year, this offense is going to have a humongous year. Lil D. Texas said Trigg can block. I would put him ahead of Ferguson. Some people say he's got some issues with blocking. But I think he's going to be definitely in that wide receiver spot for the Cowboys. So I think he's going to be great there. So offensive summary, let's look here. It says the Cowboys will go with 3 quarterbacks here. Okay. But it's possible they stick with 2. I think they're going to stick with 2. At this point, it's hard to predict which backup will secure the number 2 spot, but there's reason to believe Sam Howell, who isn't as exciting as Joe Milton, could be more consistent. That is probably going to be, in my estimation, one of the biggest battles in camp is going to be between Joe Milton and Sam Howell. I think that's going to be one of the biggest ones. Says at the running back position, Phil Malfa edges out Malik Davis. Yeah, I believe so too. But the Cowboys will be thrilled to keep Davis on the practice squad, and that's what they typically do. It says one of the tougher cuts on offense will be at wide receiver, where minicamp star Marquez Valdez-Scantling is left off the roster. He has been solid in offensive sets, but his lack of special team experience is his undoing. I agree. I don't think he's going to want to do those special teams, man. You got to grind and get on those special teams. Robert Johnson said, I don't know why they only say we're keeping 5 wide receivers. Name one time any team last 20 years that we didn't keep 6 you're saying? Yeah, 6. If we keep 6, hey, let me tell you something. You tell me what you think, Robert Johnson. If we keep 6, I still say Marquez Valdez-Scantling might get the bad end of the stick and not make it. Because he could get beat out by Mingo or Trayshawn Holden. And then we got the Denzel Mills. We'll see. But I really think, Robert Johnson, if they're talking 6 wide receivers, this is where the battle truly is. Because I don't really think there's going to be a battle in between from 1 to 5. I mean, Anthony Smith, you drafted him this year. I don't think you're going to put Anthony Smith on the practice squad and let him go. I mean, it could happen. But I think the position that if there's 6 wide receivers, it'll be Scantling. And whichever receiver is best at special teams will get that number 6 spot. You tell me what you think. If we keep 6, I think that's what happens. Yeah, I think that's what happens. Defense. Let's go there. Defensive line. Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, Otito Obonya, Jonathan Bullard, LT Overton, and Jay Toya. I think that's pretty much set. I don't see anything happening different there. Y'all tell me what you think, but I don't see anything different happening there. I think that's pretty much set. It's got those three and those three. I think that's pretty much set. I don't really see anybody back here that makes me say they could beat out those six. I don't see anybody. Y'all tell me what you think. All right, let's go to the linebacker situation. Rashawn Gary, Donovan Ezeraku, Malachi Lawrence, James Houston, Sam Williams, Charles Snowden. Ooh, this is where I'm struggling right here. I'm struggling. Yeah, I've heard the same thing about Trayshawn Holden, but I got a feeling that Holden's going to have to make it on another team. I don't think he's going to make it here. I think he's good enough to make it on another team. I just think it's too much here. I think it's too much. I'm struggling with Maurice Leofau. I'm struggling because I think Maurice Leofau is a very talented player. But I do think it's going to be tough right here. The Cowboys got some serious decisions to make. Because there's another player. Okay, what is this? This is the edge, right? Let me see. Okay, so we're talking about, I'm struggling with Maurice Leofau being cut. I'm struggling with Maurice. I think the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys will try to figure out something with Leofau. I think they'll try to figure out something. Leofau, I think, is going to fit in here somewhere. You know what, Demetrius Noel? I could see Sam Williams. Being cut and Leofau being kept rather than Leofau being gone. Even Charles Snowden. I'm struggling with Leofau. I don't think Leofau is going anywhere. I think the Cowboys are going to allow Leofau to keep playing. Inside linebacker, we got D. Winters, Demarion Overshown, Jayshawn Barham, and Shamar James, Justin Barron. I could see them cutting Justin Barron and trying to get him on the practice squad. Douglas Harrison, he said whoever can play special teams will win the wide receiver spot. That's actually what they're going to be playing for, I agree. Bass said, I like seeing Leofau smack the doggone mess out of dudes like Matthew Golden. Yeah, I think he's going to be here. Bass, I've said this before. I think he can play safety. Country Field, Maurice was calling plays last year. Yeah, I'm struggling, Country Field. I think he's going to be here. My sister Nisi, what is going on? The chat has so dearly missed you. Good to see you. All right, cornerback. Deron Bland, a.k.a. Stacey Adam Church Shoes. Deron Bland, Savon Revel Jr., Kobe Durant, Devin Moore, Kalen Carson? Man, get out of here, man. Ain't no way. I'm looking at this cornerback room. There is no way. They're saying that Kalen Carson, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying Kalen Carson beating out Darion Kendrick. I am not buying this. I got to see it to believe it. I have got to see this to believe it. Let me see who else is on here. I believe Josh Butler will beat out Kalen. If Josh Butler is healthy, I think he'll beat out Carson. I'm struggling with this one. Yeah, I'm struggling with this one at the cornerback position. Because I'm still thinking that, let me see here. I don't see his name on here. Okay. So they got Darion Kendrick as a nickel back. So let me see if he's with the safeties or something. Demetrius Noel, I've heard him talking about Carson. I've heard him talking. Bass, you got concerns? Let me tell you what my concerns are. and tell me if your concerns are the same. I'm not actually concerned with the cornerback position as much as I'm concerned with DaRon Bland. Tell me if that's where you are. I'm not concerned about the room. I'm concerned about Bland. Bland keeps having feet problems. And there is one thing that you don't want a wide receiver, a cornerback, or a running back to have is foot problems. He got a foot problem. I'm concerned about Bland. I'm not as much concerned about the cornerback room because I like Devin Moore. I really like Devin Moore. I think Savon Revel Jr. may be ready to step up. But DaRon Bland, I'm concerned about him. And we've already paid him, but I'm concerned about him. We got Kobe Durant. Darian Kendrick, I believe, is going to play well for the Cowboys. So we got enough depth. Because, see, they don't have, and again, let me see. See, they don't even have Darian Kendrick on here. So unless something has changed with Darian Kendrick that I don't remember, Darian Kendrick should be on here. So I believe that Darian Kendrick can, I think we'll be okay with Darian Kendrick. And I'll tell you this, I believe the Cowboys are going to give Savon Revel Jr. every chance. But do not be surprised if the Cowboys were to go out and add a cornerback to this thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they went out and added the cornerback. If they could get a cornerback out there in free agency that they feel locked down the position, if DaRon Bland starts having some problems, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm good with Savon Revel Jr., Devin Moore, Kobe Durant. I'm not good with Kalen Carson. I am not good with Kalen Carson. Robert Johnson said he done. He said he done. Larry Hunter, I'm not worried about the cornerback room. I'm worried about Bland. Niecy says, Schotty talks about Carson like he talked about Bazooka. Don't fall for him that in the tailpipe. Niecy, I'm not falling for the Kalen Carson conversation. I'm with you. I'm not falling with, I'm nowhere confident in Kalen Carson. Yeah, I'm wondering too, Bass, because I haven't heard anything about Kendrick being gone. I think he's still on the roster. I think, last I heard, Kendrick was on the roster. Lil D Texas said availability to get off your team, Bland, better get some white church shoes. I'm concerned. I'm really concerned about DaRon Bland. Yeah, Bass, they can get out of his contract next year. Yeah, but I'm concerned. I'm concerned about DaRon Stacey Adams Bland because he got foot problems, man. And when you're a quarterback, man, you cannot have foot problems. I mean, you can have athlete's foot, but you can't have screws in your feet coming loose. He got some serious issues going on, man. Got some serious issues going on. I'm concerned for DaRon Bland. Safety position, let's check that out. We got Caleb Downs, Jalen Thompson, Malik Hooker, PJ Locke, Marquise Bell, and Elijah Clark. Man, I'm going to tell you something. Marquise Bell better give the Cowboys a reason to keep him. He really better give the Cowboys a reason to keep him. Now, they're not very deep at safety. But, man, he could be in for a battle of his life with Elijah Clark. He could be in for the battle of his life. I mean, Marquise Bell, man, he done kind of tripped out a little bit. We're going to see what happened with him. We're going to see what needs to happen. Man, you know the Cowboys got some players, Andre Johnson. And they got some depth. Because Zion Childress, man, unfortunately, probably going to have to make it somewhere else. Yeah, I'm with you, Quentin Scott, on that Kalen Carson things, man. So safety position, it's going to be tough. And then we got the special teams, Brandon Aubrey, Brian Anger, and Trent Sieg. Says here, Dallas Cowboys defense summary. Maurice Leofau is someone who is on the wrong side of the bubble, which feels unfortunate. The 2024 third-round pick is a hard hitter, but is being moved from linebacker to edge, which doesn't help his chances. That's why he's pushed off the roster by veteran addition Charles Snowden. I'm struggling with this right here. I think Leofau's going to make the team. I think they'll figure out something for him. I'd still like to see him try out at safety. I mean, if Marquise Bell can step into a game and play linebacker, and we talked about Maurice Leofau call some plays, I see no reason why Maurice Leofau couldn't go back to safety. I see no reason why he couldn't. I mentioned this before. Bass has talked about it. I would like to see him at safety. I really would. Bass said, who is Trent Sieg? He said, I've never seen this man nor heard his name. What do you think said about this dude in the interview? Comes to my recollection, man. I don't know who they talking about, man. Said his best show. No, he's off. He's gone. Yeah, he gone, man. He gone. All right, that's kind of where we are with the Sports Illustrated. I think I agree with a lot of what they're saying, minus Maurice Leofau. I'm not sold on Maurice Leofau. I'm not sold on Kalen Carson. Those are the only two I can think of come to mind. But in the grand scheme of things, y'all keep watching the Cowboys cook. It's not time for the Cowboys at this point in time. It's not time for the Cowboys they're not going to go out, I don't think, in this off season. I don't think they're going to go do anything like that. I think what they're going to do is they're going to wait until they get a few weeks into Oxnard, California, and then they'll probably make a decision on that cornerback position. I think they'll make a decision on that cornerback situation then. So we can be patient with that. Let's let them cook. Yeah, we'll let them cook. I think July 15th is also going to bring some surprises. I think that's going to bring some surprises also. Yeah, I think that's going to be bring some surprises. I'm sorry about that. I think that's going to bring some surprises. So let's sit back, watch them cook. Sit back and watch them cook. I think there may be something going on. Mark Davis, you still in the chat? The fragrance man, Mark Davis, you still in the chat? All right, let's look at a couple of more topics here. There was an article written over on DallasCowboys.com, and they're asking the question of who is Christian Parker? Who is Christian Parker? Says Christian Parker, an inside look at the youngest defensive coordinator in the NFL. Who is Christian Parker? Who is Christian Parker? Let's see what it says here. It says the Cowboys defense was one of the worst in the NFL in 2025, and it was evident change was needed. So who did the Dallas Cowboys turn to? A 34-year-old first-time coordinator, the youngest coordinator in franchise history. Plucked from a division rival, no less, that the Cowboys are hoping can turn around their defense. Which begs the question, who is Christian Parker? Says here, Parker said, I'm big on my family and my faith. Parker said when asked, I'm pretty low-key in terms of just spending time on family, friends, and being focused on this. I'm pretty simple to the core. I love this about this young man. We are watching a head coach in the making. I see him being a head coach before Clayton Adams. This is a head coach in the making right here. Says Parker was born in New Jersey, but claims Richmond, Virginia is his hometown. His parents, Cleveland and Donna, are from North Carolina, and both attended North Carolina State. Christian was born shortly after his father had graduated and moved to New Jersey to work. A few years later, Parker's younger brothers, Corey and Colin, came along, and after Colin was born, the family moved to Richmond so his father could begin working with McGraw-Hill, an education publishing company. That not only was where Parker would spend most of his life, but also where he fell in love with the game of football. Parker recalled his gridiron career beginning around 6 or 7 years old, playing for his local Kanawha, I'm pretty sure I butchered that, recreational league football team. He even remembered his first game against the Ashland Vikings, where he wore the number 30 because he signed up to play for the team late after his family made the move to Virginia. Says his family special credit to John Davis. He gives special credit to John Davis and Dallas Simmons Jr., who coached Parker and his two brothers in football and had a profound impact on him. They also coached Parker in the AAU basketball for Team Richmond. He befriended their sons, Dallas Simmons III and Trey Davis, who played running back and quarterback respectively alongside Parker. The coaches were tough on them and practice was difficult, but Parker and his team won. Perhaps more importantly, those experiences were also the spark for his interest in coaching. Says, I started trying to pay attention to more about the schematic part, about why we were doing certain things and what made sense and what didn't. Parker said, I think it helped from playing basketball and football because it's all about space and angles in both sports. They say those who can't coach. Says around that time I was like, okay, I like the statistical part of it. You read the ESPN almanacs and stuff as a kid, and you've just consumed with the playing side of it. Well, what kind of connects both? And it was like, man, at some point I think I'm going to want to coach this thing. Every Saturday and Sunday, Parker's household television was turned on college football and NFL. He was in awe of Virginia Tech and quarterback Michael Vick, as well as the University of Miami's 2001 team that featured Devin Hester, Sean Taylor, and current Cowboys passing game specialist Ken Dorsey. As a kid, Parker sat in the barbershop with his father, obsessing over trading cards and memorizing every player's stats. Regardless of the sports, he idolized Michael Jordan, and the first jersey he ever owned was Deion Sanders' Cowboys version. Parker is fond of Sanders with a photo of him hanging in his office, overlooking his right shoulder, and a pair of Sanders shoes next to his desk. Yeah, he likes Jordan. Deion Sanders, me and him share something in common. Michael Jordan is my favorite player ever. Basketball. Deion Sanders, it's got to be my top 3 players of all time. Big time Deion Sanders fan. Says after going through his youth career, learning from Davis and Simmons, Parker went on to play prep football at Battlefield High School in Haymarket, Virginia. He was a 2-time all-district player at cornerback. Okay, I see. All right. Earned all-district honors in basketball as well. In 2009, he began his collegiate career at the University of Richmond, where he redshirted his first season. In 2010, the Spiders hired Latrell Scott as head coach and Bob Trott, who had previously come up with Parcells and Bill Belichick in the NFL. As the team's defensive coordinator, it was at Richmond that Parker decided coaching was his calling, telling Trott that one day, I want to do what you do. Soon enough, the Richmond staff got Parker involved with coaching at summer one-day camps. Meanwhile, in his second season, when injuries piled up in Richmond's receiver room, Parker made the switch from cornerback. Once he was then able to provide defensive insight into his teammates on the defensive side of the ball, the move proved to him that he had truly had coaching in his future. Scott saw it too. Once Parker finished playing career in 2012, he got a call from his mentor who had taken the head coaching job at Virginia State. Niecy, am I going crazy or did this story come out last year? Am I going crazy? This flashed across my screen as a news story on DallasCowboys.com, but this ain't new. Says me and him stayed in touch, and he was like, because I can remember you saying the same thing last year. It says you've always said, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a similar story. Says me and him stayed in touch, and he was like, look, you've always said you want to do this thing. I talked to the guys in the program. It sounds like you're already doing it, Parker said, because I was kind of an assistant already on the roster. He said, you want to start your coaching career. And that's how I got started. It says a day after the 21-year-old Parker graduated from college, he attended his first staff meeting with the Trojans. He recognized he was raw as a coach, but his goal was to instruct his players better than he had been taught while providing as much detailed confidence and knowledge as possible. He spent 2 years at Virginia State. Says Parker credits Scott with having a major impact on the course of his career. He was hard on me, but he also put me in positions that I had to grow up quick. Parker said, the way that he challenged and pushed me and put me in positions of discomfort, it was really sink or swim. I don't like failing at anything, so I was going to work my way out of it. All right. It's a pretty long article here. Let me skip down some of this. It's a pretty long article here. I'll put the link in the description. It's a pretty long article. Let me see if I can get to the gist of the matter here. See if I can get to the gist of the matter. Excuse me. It says here, This is him coming to the Cowboys staff. He says, I'm ready. Parker said, I don't worry about that as far as calling plays. He said, I feel like if you put in the work, confidence comes from demonstrated ability. Obviously, I haven't demonstrated the ability to call plays myself, but I know that I'm going to work and put myself in a position to do that. I think that we've hired the staff to support in that realm to reach these players and maximize their ability. I think the only thing with pressure is that it means you have expectations, and that means that you're good enough to have those expectations. So we welcome that. That's nothing that bothers us. There's nothing external that is going to motivate or prohibit us for more than what we do in the building every day. Yep. Yeah, so, a lot of people are looking at Christian Parker as kind of like this savior of the Dallas Cowboys. We've heard this quite a bit. So we're going to see how this turns out. How effective will Parker be in his first season? And I will say this, and I've already mentioned this, but I'm telling y'all now, he's got a lot more talent. He's got a lot more talent than Matt Eberflus had. He's definitely got a better connection with the team. Better connection, more respect. I think he has a way better system than Matt Eberflus. He's got talent, too. So what they're working on now is getting the mind right for these players to play in that system. I think we got the right system. Lisa says she's excited about the defense. I am, too. Lil D Texas said all stars need to play some preseason to get to start off on the same page. Yeah. You won't see Dak, but yeah. Bad said Will Madea Clay. He does look like Tyler Perry, man. Now I can't unsee it. He says Will Madea McClay best be right this year. I want Barb and Malachi to be bullies. Yeah, I can't unsee it now. He looks like Tyler Perry. All right, let's ask a couple more questions here, Cowboys Nation. Just got a couple more articles here. And you're going to want to be here for the last one, which is Maxx Crosby. All right, so there is an article that was written by a guy by the name of Bob Solak or something like that. Solak. And I heard 105.3 The Fan having a huge discussion about this. His name is Ben Solak. Sorry about that. His name is Ben Solak. Let me do some housekeeping real quick. His name is Ben Solak, or Ben Solak. And Ben Solak has came up with questions that every team needs to answer. And of course, one of the teams, I don't know if it's every team, but one of the teams is the Dallas Cowboys. He has come up with things that teams need to answer. So let's jump to our beloved Dallas Cowboys.
Yes! Here we go!
And lo and behold, look who he's talking about. Dallas Cowboys defense coordinator, Christian Parker. The question is, Cowboys Nation, and y'all tell me what y'all think your answer is. This is actually a subjective question. This is opinion. Can this be an average defense by the playoffs? Solak says yes. What say you? What say you? Can they be average by the end of the season? I think they're going to be better than average, but I think they'll look like the stats may show they may be in a middle of the pack defense, but I think they'll be better by the end of the season. And this is what it says here. It says the talent is good enough. While the Cowboys sorely miss Micah Parsons' elite presence, so I just can't wait for the day that we no longer talk about Micah Parsons. It says defensive tackle Quentin Williams has been a similar disruptor at his best, and the depth behind him, edges, Rashawn Gary, Donovan Ezeraku, Malachi Lawrence, along with defensive tackle Kenny Clark, is solid. I would say it's better than solid, but okay. A pass rush can do wonders to protect a poor back seven, and Dallas's talent clears the bar. Yeah, I do think they're really good. When you think about what they have up front, he didn't even mention Kenny Clark, didn't mention Otito Ogbonnia. I think they're going to be pretty good. And I think these linebackers are going to flourish behind this line in the system that Parker has. It says if Parker runs Vic Fangio's defense to the letter, he won't blitz much. No defense blitzed less than Fangio's Eagles over the last 2 seasons. And look at how good they've been. It says, so that defensive line will need to carry its weight. Fangio's secondary plays with big cushions on the outside and 2 high safeties, which allows both light boxes in the run game, in the running game and easy access underneath routes in the passing game. On longer developing dropbacks, Dallas needs to get after the passer. It says, here's the bad news for opponents. The Cowboys did that last season. Their pressure rate of 35% was right around league average per Next Gen Stats. Outgoing defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus was also reticent to blitz and a proponent of a soft shell coverage. But the tackling at cornerback and a lack of speed at linebacker were death nails to the approach. Now, this is where the Cowboys improve. The Cowboys have speed at linebacker. They absolutely have speed at linebacker. When you think about D Winners, Demarion Overshown, Donovan Ezeraku, Rashawn Gary, Barsha, what's his name? Barham. They got speed at linebacker. I believe at tackle. At cornerback. They got better. I think Savon Revel Jr. would be better this year. I'm concerned about the run blend. But I think Kobe Durant is going to do his thing. And we also know our safety situation is better. So I'm pretty good with our back 7. We just got to see how it reacts. But we've improved on this part that was lacking in the defense. It says only the Titans allowed more yards per dropback. Only the Jets allowed a worse EPA per dropback. Only the Dolphins allowed a worse success rate on dropbacks. Only the Raiders allowed more average separation on targets. The Cowboys' pass defense was quite simply the worst in the league in 2025. It is what it is. It says Parker might play with cushion and split field safeties like Eberflus did. But the Fangio defensive system gets attached to routes a lot faster than Eberflus zone heavy cover 2. Parker also has more in the toolbox. I just said that he's got more talent. He's got more talent, man. He's naming some of the same players I named. Free agent Kobe Durant is a great quarters corner who plays well from big cushions. Jalen Thompson is a handy, do-it-all defensive back. Caleb Downs, one of the best pound-for-pound prospects in the class, and fell a bit given positional value concerns. They got some players back there. The most important reinforcements are not additions but returners. Third-round pick Savon Revel Jr. barely played as a rookie while recovering from an ACL tear. Starting linebacker Demarion Overshown also missed the first 10 weeks recovering from ACL, MCL, and PCL. In 2024, ideally both are starters in 2026, but more importantly, they're among the most athletic players the Cowboys have. Yeah. No matter what skill Parker has as a play caller, the Cowboys defense will continue to suffer if it retains so slow in the back 7. The back 7 is faster now. It's faster. Says with a first-year play caller and positional battles across the board, the Cowboys defense isn't guaranteed to be strong, but the Cowboys offense is already there. In the first season under head coach Brian Schottenheimer and offensive coordinator Clayton Adams, the Cowboys are 8th in DVOA, 6th in success rate, 5th in EPA per play, 5th in points per drive. With the addition of wide receiver George Pickens, Dallas's passing game seemed uncoverable at times. Adams' creative running game constantly churned explosive plays with finally healthy running back Javonte Williams. So I think they're going to be fine. And I think what we're going to see in the beginning, I think the Cowboys offense are really going to have to score some points. Miss Matrix said, gee, what up, Miss Matrix? She said, we still talking about Herschel Walker 40 years later. What make you think we'll stop talking about Michael Parsons? Great point. You're right, until we win a Super Bowl. The only thing that'll probably stop us is winning the Super Bowl. Lil D Texas said we can't be worse than 30 seconds. Yeah, the Cowboys offense is primed to be a top 5 unit. It says Dallas lost nobody from last season's offense. The coaching staff is intact. We added Michael Trigg. Everyone on the line returns. The skill positions are stable. Quarterback Dak Prescott is healthy. Ideally, the tackle play improves, and better insurance and backup running back would be nice. But in terms of general offensive health, the Cowboys seem primed to be a top 5 unit. I agree. Absolutely agree. Says here, while the Seahawks currently hold the Lombardi Trophy thanks to a stifling defense, the most common model for the NFL success the past decade is elite offense paired with workable defense. They said it, I didn't. Dallas simultaneously needs Parker to revolutionize its defense, modernizing the scheme and quickly getting multiple younger new players up to speed, but doesn't need him to do that much. Yeah. They just need to be average right now and just work their way towards being great by the end. Dallas had the worst starting field position on average last season. Imagine if it's average this season. Only 2 teams had fewer takeaways. Imagine if the Cowboys defense in 2026 does what the Bears did in 2025. The offense can power a deep playoff run so long as the defense carries its own weight. Facts. Facts. Absolute facts. Fred, he said, being questions are fair. His assessment is good. Please allow for discipline, health, and luck. Yes. I love it. He said it might not happen right away, but it doesn't need to. The Cowboys can win 10 games on the back of their offense. Yes. Which might be enough to win the NFC East. Book it. 10 wins the NFC East. Even with a wild card berth, Dallas will be live in the NFC playoffs, so as long as the defense rounds into form across November, December. Yes. I like those questions. I like the question, and I think the answer I like even more. I like the answer even more. I like the answer even more. I do think they can be better. I think they can be average. Frank Lawrence said the 49ers are doomed. Matty Fleur. He's an American football coach who currently serves as assistant coach of the defense for the San Francisco 49ers. Hey, man, I'm glad he's on there, man. Bazzy 9 said, what up? What up, Bazzy 9? Football Fanatic said, I do believe this offense can get much better. I believe so, too. I believe so, too. Hey, and just as watching Football Fanatic, I think they're going to continue to cook. I think they're going to continue to cook. People keep talking about the Cowboys like they're done with talent acquisition. They're not done. They're not done. This is an absolutely great article. Let me get this guy's name right. Get this guy's name right again. His name is Ben Solak. I like everything that he said. All right. Bass, King Gresh, Dominique Pittman, if y'all hung around long enough, y'all might find this last topic very interesting. Here we go again with the Maxx Crosby conversation. The Maxx Crosby conversation is entering into the chat again. And I am not going to be surprised if the Dallas Cowboys circle the block on this particular conversation. Maxx Crosby is at it again. And we might say, yeah, we don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, but we know he talking about something. Yeah, you want to be starting something. We know he talking about something. Hey, Football Fanatic, I don't think it's going to happen either. I'm not going to get my hopes up. But I can tell you this. He's going to be, I got a strange feeling that Maxx Crosby may show up out there. Because he's just sent another one of these crazy cryptic texts. One of these crazy cryptic texts. It says $98 million All-Pro Maxx Crosby drops cryptic message amid Cowboys trade speculation. I mean, it's new to me. I didn't even know there was no speculation out there until I saw this flash across. I can't remember where I saw this, but it's right here. It's on heavy.com. I mean, this is a brand new article. Brand new. Just trying to see who wrote, let's see. This was written by Perry Miller Carpenter. Man, this is old. Why are these coming up on the feed? Let me go back. Okay, so I actually got I got the wrong article. It is up to date. I just got the wrong one. Y'all hold on a second. Y'all hold on. I see what happened now. This has actually come up again. I'm just looking at the wrong part. All right. Maxx Crosby name has come up again. And I did have this right, and I picked up the wrong. I had the right article. Hold on a second. He did do a cryptic post. All right, let me see here. Yeah, Maxx Crosby did do a cryptic post. Here it is. Bleacher Report had it, and I clicked a link off of it. All right, here it is. Let's try this again. This is the most recent article written by Paul Casabian. Probably butchered that. Forgive me. Maxx Crosby. Once again, Maxx Crosby makes a cryptic post amid latest Raiders trade rumors. Let's try it again. Yeah. Maxx Crosby over here doing this stuff again. Las Vegas Raiders defensive end and 5-time Pro Bowler Maxx Crosby dropped a cryptic post on X on Thursday evening saying, "Stop people pleasing, handle business accordingly." Who are we talking about? Who is he talking about? Now let's go back to this previous article. The last time we heard Maxx Crosby with this stuff, Maxx Crosby wound up out there on the trading block. This was on November 2nd, 2025. Raider Nation, I love y'all with everything in my heart and soul. Y'all deserve better. Stay as one. It will change.
You can't.
Remember this? Then it came up on November 3rd, 2025. Jerry Jones said he made a trade and is working on 2 more for the Cowboys. I mean, the last time he started talking this stuff, something happened shortly thereafter. And I'll tell y'all this now. I told y'all, be prepared for whatever comes July the 15th. I'm telling all of us to prepare ourselves. Prepare yourselves. Anything could happen July the 15th. Cowboys won't be the only people dealing with contracts, and we're only really dealing with one. But again, he posted a cryptic post on X. Says it's been an interesting offseason for Crosby, who was traded to the Baltimore Ravens last March, only for Baltimore to rescind that deal due to reported concerns with his physical, per ESPN, Jamison Hensley. Crosby is one of the league's most feared pass rushers. 69.5 sacks, 164 quarterback hits, 439 tackles during his career. Crosby had 10 sacks last year, 20 quarterback hits, 73 tackles, and 15 starts in a partridge in a pear tree. It says, earlier in June, Crosby told reporters that the trade was water under the bridge and that he was excited to be in Las Vegas. He said, "I don't really want to talk about that, to be honest. It's water under the bridge. It's a long time ago," Crosby said, during the Raiders offseason team activities. He says, "I'm here and I want to be here, and I'm excited to be here. And I've got a lot of work to do. It's water under the bridge." Crosby added, "I want to be out there and be a part of the team. I just love what I do and love playing football." And then at the same time, this comes up. Stop people pleasing, handle business accordingly. It's the football business for a reason. This is why I keep saying, as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys, let's be a little bit more patient with the Cowboys. They're still going to be cooking. Anything can happen. Demetrius Noel said, gee, it did change. He left and came back. And here we go again with this talk. Lil D Texas said Crosby need to handle business by passing the physical first. We good without Crosby, I think. Oh, Lil D Texas, let me tell you something. You better not say that around some people. Bad said, yeah, but it's not like the Cowboys who mopped up also some picks to get Crosby. It's not like they're just, it's like they're just having lost interest, like they knew he was injured prior to the Ravens. I don't know, Bass. I think if they would have won the trade, I think they would have kept him, though. You tell me what you think. I think they would have kept him. Says here, early in June, Crosby told reporters, okay, I'm sorry, I read that already. It says here, although Crosby wasn't traded in March, it's conceivable he could be dealt in season. Dan Graziano said Crosby is one of a few early trade deadline candidates to move. I wouldn't expect Crosby trade talk to heat up again until he gets on the field and shows he's healthy. And from everything I've been told, that could be in August or later, Graziano wrote. Crosby might stick with the Raiders all year at this point, but if he's going to get traded at all, we're probably looking at something in season ahead of the deadline. If a team such as the Cowboys, there it is. If a team such as the Cowboys, Bills, Bears, or Patriots find themselves in contention and in need of an impact pass rusher, things could get interesting here again. I've heard the Eagles are already trying to do it. I've actually heard, I think I saw something flash across X the other day, that the Eagles were already trying to do this. That the Eagles already want Maxx Crosby before he even hits the field. Said the Raiders season doesn't start until September 13th at home against the Miami Dolphins, and the trade deadline is November 3rd. So we're a few months away or so until entertaining the possibility of an in-season trade. In the meantime, Crosby is getting ready for the season, and the Raiders have started a new chapter with head coach Clint Kubiak and the franchise quarterback Fernando Mendoza. Y'all tell me what y'all think on this topic. Because let me ask y'all a question. If you could get Maxx Crosby before he hit the field, what draft pick would you be willing to take a chance on to get Maxx Crosby? What draft pick? $2027. The Cowboys have, the Cowboys have 1, 2, I'm not sure what this means. Let me see. All right, the Cowboys don't have many picks for 2027. I'm sorry. I didn't realize they didn't have many picks. It's going to be slim pickings for the Cowboys next year. We're going to be playing in free agency. Cowboys' first round was traded to the New York Jets in exchange for defensive tackle Quentin Williams. The Jets will receive the higher of the Cowboys' 2 2027 first-round picks. So the Cowboys got 1 first-round pick. I don't think they're giving that up. Second-round pick currently owned. Third-round pick currently owned. Fourth-round pick traded to Green Bay for Rashawn Gary. Fifth-round pick traded to the Steelers for George Pickens. So we gave up a third and fifth. Sixth-round pick, 2 picks owned. Plus the Pittsburgh, their own plus Pittsburgh. So we got 2 sixth-round picks. And then our 7th-round pick was traded to the Eagles as part of a draft day trade. So between the 2nd and the 3rd, because you ain't getting it for those 6th-round picks. What would you be willing to give up for Maxx Crosby? Would you be willing to take a chance? Would you be willing to take a chance on Maxx Crosby? Because I got a strange feeling that if the Raiders are trading Maxx Crosby, not only are they going to want a draft pick, but they're also going to want something else. Let's go ahead and pull it back up. They're also going to want something else And this becomes the problem for Maxx Crosby. What pick and what player? Let's go there. What pick and what player would you be willing to give up for Maxx Crosby? What pick and one player? What pick and what player? You ain't giving up nothing on offense. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I do got a player on offense. If I were the Cowboys, I'd be willing to give up. His name is none other than Luke Schoonmaker. Hey, man, y'all want Luke? I'd ask him, did they want? Would y'all take Luke? Would y'all take Luke? Jonathan Mingo? I mean, we got some players back here on the back end, man. Hey, hold on. I got a couple of players. Would y'all be willing to give up Schoonmaker and Sam Williams? Schoonmaker and Sam Williams. What about that? What about Sam Williams and Schoonmaker, man? Hey, I throw in a third player, man. I throw in Schoonmaker. I throw in Sam Williams. Man, I'd even throw in Kayla Carlson, man. Come on, man. I throw in some players. Whoa, 03. Boy, you said Ferg. You give him Ferg, man. We got Ferg on the contract. I don't know if they take that Ferg contract. Bass said he got plenty. School, Lipke, and Mingo. You know what, Bass? Let's just keep it 100% real. Lipke could be trade bait because they don't know what to do with him. I think the Cowboys are going to waste him again this year. Wow, USMC said give him Turpin. Man, you never know. Fancy Dad said they don't want Mango. Renner's Equity said Sid Stewart. Man, shoot. Boy, Fred Walker said that won't get it. They will do the same as you have me doing, G laughing. Man, I'm just throwing out some names, man. You know what, though? Hold on a second. Fred Walker. Okay, let me throw out one that might not make you laugh. So Ben Solak earlier said that the Cowboys might actually cut this player. Rather than cut this player, Maurice Leofow could actually be a good trade for a team that's looking for a player like him. Man, Maurice Leofow. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Maurice Leofow. If the Cowboys find themselves in a situation to where they don't really know what to do with Maurice Leofow, they figure that he's not going to be a starter, Maurice Leofow may absolutely be the most tradable player on the Cowboys defense. Would you trade Maurice Leofow and a third-round pick for Maxx Crosby? Maurice Leofow and a third-round pick. Woo, Terry Tatum. I didn't even think about that, Terry Tatum. We do got a little bit of trade there. Malik Hooker. Yeah, hey, we got, hey, hold on a second now. Because if you were to make this trade, you're not necessarily subtracting for your team. Because I don't think Maurice Leofow is projected to be a starter. You might lose some special team play. He's not. I don't think he's projected to be a starter. I don't even think he's projected to be a second teamer. Maurice Leofow is talented. You could trade Maurice Leofow and Malik Hooker. PJ Locke can step into that role. You could, hey, you know what? I thought about another player. We do got another player. His name is Marquise Bell. What about Marquise Bell? What about Marquise Bell? Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because these are players that I think you can risk losing. And I don't think they're going to have a huge impact on the team because I'm just wondering about Maurice Leofau. I just think he may find himself, they're going to be figuring out what to do with him. And I think they're going to try to keep him. But if somebody came along and offered you, let me give you another example. Let me give you another example. What if the Miami Dolphins came and they wanted to trade Jordan Brooks? Would you trade Maurice Leofau and a third-round pick for Jordan Brooks? Maurice Leofau may absolutely turn out to be one of the most tradable players on the Dallas Cowboys team. He's a very talented player, but he may be too talented to sit on the bench, and I don't even know if he'll want to sit on the bench. Maybe I don't know, maybe he will. But he's got some stiff competition in front of him. And I think if you're going to move him to the edge, you have put him in a position, I just don't think he can succeed at the edge. I don't know, maybe he can. I ain't going to say what he can't do. But I think when you look at what they've drafted, he's in a situation to where, man, it might be hard for Leofau to get on the field, barring injury. Barring injury. So let's say you go all the way through training camp and everything is good. Man, Maurice Leofau may absolutely be a player that you could consider trading for. I mean, trading, and would you give up Maurice Leofau in a third-round pick? Y'all tell me, Cowboys fans. I'm good if we don't get Crosby. But I'll be honest with you. If Christian Parker said that Maxx Crosby would fit the system, even before he hits the field, I'll be honest with you, I'd be willing to take a chance on him. I'd be willing to take a chance on him. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I would be willing to take a chance on Maxx Crosby for a third. I'd be willing to take a chance on him. I would much rather that be Jordan Brooks, because I think the Cowboys are still going to be cooking. I'd rather have Jordan Brooks and trade Maurice Leofau for Jordan Brooks, because Maurice Leofau could probably go to the Miami Dolphins, and this might be a deal that Troy Aikman might say, he's a young player. He's a young player. He can play. His contract is not, Maurice Leofau's contract is pennies on the dollar. Troy Aikman may actually say, hey, we'll take Maurice Leofau and give you Jordan Brooks. I'm not just looking at Crosby. I'm looking at even the Miami Dolphins, because we may find ourselves in a situation that if we want to just keep tweaking the team, Jordan Brooks, man. And I'm not telling you that Jordan Brooks is going to I'm not telling you that Jordan Brooks is that player that takes us to the Super Bowl. No, I'm telling you that Jordan Brooks is the type of linebacker that will really work well in your system and will set your system on fire. Man, I don't even want to dream like this. I don't even want to dream like this. But could you imagine having D Winters, a healthy Jordan Brooks? Jordan Brooks and a healthy DeMarion Overshown? Man, I don't even want to dream like this, man. These are the kind of dreams that these are the kind of dreams that just that get the wrong feeling in your mind, man. Could you imagine having that linebacker core? It's not that Jordan Brooks is the player that takes you to the Super Bowl, but he makes the system so much better. You'd have two veterans in there. You'd have Overshown, which, he's kind of getting there. But Bass, You can have that opinion. I ain't gonna argue with you. I ain't gonna argue with you. You said Jordan Brooks takes this team to a Super Bowl. I ain't gonna argue with you. I'll tell you this part, Bass. He would definitely help. He would help. Jordan Brooks is the type of player that makes your team, he ain't gonna make you have the best roster in the NFL. But boy, he'll make your team better. He'll make Christian Parker's job so much easier. Oh my gosh. Man, I don't even want to dream like this, Keith George. I don't even want to do it, man. But again, I do believe the Cowboys are going to circle the block on Jordan Brooks. But I'm telling y'all too, man, don't y'all be surprised. Do not be surprised with this Maxx Crosby stuff. Do not be surprised. This dude, Maxx Crosby, ain't posting this stuff for no reason, man. Something going on for Maxx Crosby to be posting this. Something is going on. Who you talking about, bruh? Who you talking about when you talking about stop people, please, and handle business accordingly? Who you talking about, man? What the word you talking about? Yeah, he'll make that defense better, Bass. He'll make that defense better. He said, think about it. Sean Lee, nor Wolf Hunter, nor Jalen were it. We haven't had it. Bazzy 9 said it before. Jordan Brooks immediately makes you a top 10 defense. Jordan Brooks is good, man. I said this before. I would actually be, because I don't think you would have to give up as much. I'd actually be pleased if the Cowboys got Jordan Brooks rather than the whole issue with Myles Garrett, because I think you would have to give up too much. But Jordan Brooks, man, the Miami Dolphins are trying to I believe they're trying to get from up under that contract. And so we're going to see. Lil D Texas said, Trobo, help us down, G. Heard you talking about it. Boy, hey, man, let me tell you something, Lil D Texas. I hope he, you know what? I wish he would make this trade. Because I just got a feeling that Maurice Leofau may be left out on the outside end, playing spot play and special teams. I mean, if you could get Jordan Brooks for Maurice Leofau, oh my gosh. It would be great for both players and both teams. Fred Walker said, he said, sure. He said you would make those trades, but it takes two to tango. You're offering swap shop players when it would take gallery player to make it that fair trade. Yeah. But you know what? I would say this, if the Cowboys would try to make this offer before he hits the field. Because once he hits the field, all bets are off. Maxx Crosby hit the field. I could see the Philadelphia Eagles giving up something for him. Something serious for him. I could see him giving up something serious for him. Yep, Nisi, they can never stay healthy. Bass is right. Bass said, yes, he does, because your linebacker core dictates the tone of the field, and last year we had Sanborn and Murray. Oh, I thought I woke up from a nightmare. With a top 3 offense and won 7 games with that defense, 3 more, and we were a playoff team, I agree. Hoobie D, man, please, speak it into existence. Jordan Brooks will be with us before the season. The Cowboys, I believe, are going to circle the block on him again. I think they're trying to get him. Fred Walker said you have a trader's village mindset. Fred Walker, I'm telling you straight up, I'm trying to get something for nothing, bro. I don't want to subtract from the team. I want to add to what the team already has. Bass said, he said, I can see the Leofau trade for Brooks with the picks in it as well because it's a positional too. Yeah, I'd give up a 3rd round pick in Leofau. I mean, come on, you can't get better than that. You just can't. I don't think Miami's gonna get better than Leofau in a 3rd round pick. Culture Field said we ain't had a good middle linebacker since Dexter and Shaw. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. Your boy, our boy Demarion Overshown said he about to change that. Demetrius Noel, everybody wants, that's what they got to give up, Jalen Carter. And they're not going to do it. They're not going to give up Jalen Carter because it's the same thing with us. We were not giving up Quentin Williams to get Myles Garrett. It don't make sense. They're not going to give up Jalen Carter. He's a monster. I don't care what they're talking about with his behavioral issues. Man's a monster. Man, you ain't letting go of that dude. Bass says, and Sean Lee didn't stay healthy, but he was good. Man, if I'm gonna go out on a limb, and this is an opinion based on the fact of Sean Lee, when healthy, was top 5. I believe Sean Lee would have had a Hall of Fame career had he stayed healthy. I really do. Bazzy Nine said Mango, Leo Fowl, and Hooker for Max. Man, shoot. That's that, hey, I got that, hey. I got that Traders Village mindset because that's exactly what I would do. Glenn Harrison, yeah, good night, my brother. Yeah, we about to get out of here, man. I had a good time talking Cowboys today. Good time talking Cowboys today. Me and Bass and Dominique, we all still good. And anybody else, we all still good. I'm just laser focused on trying to help people to see that this team, what they're doing, is they're doing some great things. And I think it's going to translate onto the field, Dallas Cowboy fans. If we get this team's mind right, the X's and O's are going to follow, man. The X's and O's are going to follow. I am very confident that we are going to see an entirely different team when we hit that field come the Rams scrimmage. Oh my gosh, we're gonna see a different team, man. Not just in personnel. I think we are going to see a very different team. And I agree with y'all. I think there are some concerns. And my concern is not the cornerback room, it's DaRon Bland. Because there's a lot predicated upon DaRon Bland being healthy. Because if DaRon Bland isn't healthy, the Cowboys are going to have to figure out something unless they're going to go with Savon Revel Jr. and Devin Moore. So it is important that DaRon Bland is healthy. DaRon Bland's got to be healthy, man, and we got to start looking. I don't think Devin Moore, for as good as I believe Devin Moore is going to be, Savon Revel Jr., I think he's going to be incredible. I'm not ready yet to say they're going to replace Bland, at least this season. I got to see him get on the field and get into some live fire. I got to see them get tested. And I think we're going to see them get tested when we play the Rams in Oxnard, California, because I got a feeling the Cowboys aren't going to risk DaRon Bland, and they'll probably let him sit through some of that stuff. So I think we're going to get a full dose of Savon Revel Jr. and Devin Moore. And I think they'll determine as we get closer to the season, if DaRon Bland ain't ready, I will not be surprised if the Cowboys go out there and try to get another veteran cornerback. I won't be surprised. There'll probably be some out there after July the 15th, so we'll see. But, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. We got about 28 more days before we see the Dallas Cowboys. So we're going to keep it rolling. Fred Walker said, best podcast online. Appreciate you. We're going to keep it rolling. Fred Walker. Make sure you go over to the G Sports Nation, man. I talk all things sports over there. I think I'm going to try to get back over there tonight. I had something go wrong with my stream today. I'm going to try to get back on over there. I got another channel, the G Sports Nation. Love to have you over there. We're going to keep rocking, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Third part of the Brian Schottenheimer introductory press conference. And you're going to continue to hear things from Schotty and Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones that they've actually implemented. And we just need them to keep doing what they're doing and don't stop. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Best chat on YouTube. Let's talk Cowboys and we talk facts. Peace.